Chapter 1567. The night was beautiful. Xiaochun, who was drinking the thousand-year flame, did not know. The blue-clad old man, and the half-step primal core realm old man knew of Xiaochun's conflict with the Black Lotus Church because of a leaked arrest warrant. He was prepared to completely fall out with him and stop dealing with him. Tens of thousands of kilometers away from him, there was also a bonfire. A man and a woman were chatting as they warmed themselves by the fire. The two of them came from another great world, and came from the same sect, the Spirit Star Palace. The man was called Bai Feng and the woman was Lu Yi. They were the junior brother and junior sister. Due to their high strength and deep relationship, the two of them did not move together with other disciples. There was no lack of such groups in the hinterlands of profound Yin Island. After all, it was better to distribute baleful Yin energy with as few people as possible. Senior brother, we're really lucky. 300 years of Yin energy. Lu Yi said happily with a smile on his face. It is only 300 years of baleful Yin energy. It is nothing. It is not enough for us to reach the peak of the Yin essence stage. We were quite lucky. We were randomly chasing a ferocious beast, but we didn't expect to accidentally sense the existence of Yin spirits. Bai Feng shook his head, not satisfied. Furthermore, he was extremely cautious. We should be more careful from now on. It seems like someone is watching us while we are absorbing the baleful Yin energy. Senior brother, you're worrying too much. We've already walked so far and checked several times. We've already shaken off that person. Lu Yi said nonchalantly. It is better to be safe than sorry. Let's not sleep tonight. And I'll listen to senior brother. At this moment, a gust of wind suddenly blew, and the bonfire swayed left and right. Who is it? Bai Feng and Lu Yi showed stunned expressions as they stood up at the same time warily. So it's a friend from the Spirit Star Palace. Don't be nervous, I am the Clear Feather Sex Wei He. I was just chased by a ferocious beast, and it wasn't easy for me to get rid of it. When I saw the fire here, I came over. In the darkness, Wei He revealed an expression of pleasant surprise as he looked at the two. Seeing that it was only the other party, Bai Feng and Lu Yi heaved sighs of relief. So it is the Clear Feather Sex Wei He. However, my junior sister and I do not accept outsiders as our team. Since you're alone, please leave. Bai Feng calmly asked the guest to leave. It was the middle of the night, and the other party clearly wanted to be his partner. Naturally, he would not allow it. Wei He smiled in surprise. I did not even say anything, and brother Bai already guessed my intentions. In that case, I will not force you. Goodbye. As soon as he finished speaking, a gust of wind blew past, and the bonfire was suddenly extinguished. A terrified scream rang out in the dark night, and then abruptly stopped. Junior sister. Bai Feng cried out in pain. In that instant earlier, his junior sister, who had lost her vigilance, fell to Wei He's hands. So. A strong wind blew, and in the darkness, a few more figures appeared. Bai Feng focused his mental energy in his eyes. The darkness of the night could not obstruct his vision. He looked at the approaching people with a livid expression. Then he gritted his teeth and said, Clear Feather Sect, Lotus Sect Temples Feng Yin, Flying Cloud Manners to Obalang. I will definitely kill you all to take revenge for junior sister. Aside from Wei He, there were 4 other people. They were all Yin Essence stage experts. Wei He sneered. Revenge? Don't think too much about it. Don't worry, I'll send you and your junior sister back to the sect later. Haha. It is just in the netherworld. The Lotus Sect Temple's Feng Yin laughed loudly, and charged over with the other 4. After a while, Bai Feng, who fought 1 against 5, fell into a pool of blood, dying unwillingly. As Wei He looked at the 2 corpses on the ground, he said coldly, Brother Feng Yin, it is your turn. The Lotus Sect Temple's Feng Yin smiled faintly. Then he formed hand seals, and a lotus flower appeared under his feet. A black Buddha image appeared behind him, and the baleful Yin energy in the 2 corpses was slowly forced out. The 2 had just refined the baleful Yin energy, and had not completely merged the Yin essence energy with their flesh. Hence, the Lotus Sect Temple's method could force it out. The 5 did not say anything. They just sat down cross-legged and greedily absorbed this pure baleful Yin energy, consolidating their cultivations. When the baleful Yin energy was completely absorbed, Wei He opened his eyes and revealed a satisfied smile. This is really comfortable. If this continues, our Yin essence stage cultivation will continuously improve. This is several times better than absorbing the baleful Yin energy on our own. This is all thanks to Brother Wei He and Brother Feng Yin. Without the two of you working together, we would not have had such benefits, Tuoba Lang said with a smile at the soaring cloud mountain manor. Wei He said humbly, it is mainly thanks to Brother Feng Yin. Without Brother Feng Yin's lotus sex seal, no matter how good my eyesight is, it would not have been enough. Wei He's eyesight was startlingly good at judging people. He could tell who had just absorbed the baleful Yin energy, and who had completely refined the baleful Yin energy and merged it into their flesh. With one glance, Wei He could tell who was the target for the 5. 1 month is just the beginning. When the time comes, all of us will definitely reach peak Yin essence stage. Bai Feng's and Lu Ye's corpses were still warm, covered in blood. However, the 5 seated cross-legged chatted happily, not caring about them at all. Even though the night was dark, it could not beat the hearts of these 5. Early the next morning, just as Xiao Chen's group was preparing to depart, Ao Jiao said from the immortal spirit ring that little yellow feather was about to break out of its shell. The two of you, I'll go and take a look first. Wait here for a while, Xiao Chen said to Fei and Luonan as he turned around. Luonan wished that Xiao Chen would go far away so that he could spend more time with Fei, so he quickly agreed. Big brother Xiao Chen, be careful, Fei warned, thinking that Xiao Chen was going to search for the hiding place of the baleful Yin energy again. After leaving the two, Xiao Chen saw that there was no one around, so he took out the golden crow egg. The golden crow egg was already covered in cracks. Soon the eggshell completely shattered. Then little yellow feather appeared amid the golden flames, spreading its wings. A large amount of golden light poured out. Xiao Chen had been prepared long ago. He flung out his sleeves, and saber lights flew out. The saber lights formed a sealed saber formation, covering up all the mysterious phenomena. When the light scattered, little yellow feather, which had undergone a nirvanic rebirth, appeared before Xiao Chen and Ao Jiao. Compared to the previous glistening little fellow, this time, little yellow feather was covered in feathers with a withdrawn golden light. It looked rather ordinary. All its sharpness and the might of a holy beast were hidden under its feathers. Ao Jiao spread her arms wide and said joyfully, Little yellow feather, come over quickly. Little yellow feather spread its wings and happily flew to Ao Jiao's side, chirping non-stop. The last time little yellow feather was born, it had been like a baby. Ao Jiao had brought it up single-handedly. Xiao Chen knew that little yellow feather and Ao Jiao had a good relationship. He smiled faintly and did not disturb them. After a while, Ao Jiao turned her head and said, Xiao Chen, little yellow feather said that it can help us search for baleful Yin energy. This kind of cold Yin energy conflicts with its attribute, making it very easy to find. When Xiao Chen heard that, he rejoiced. The golden crow was an extremely young attributed creature. It was naturally sensitive to such baleful Yin energy, and found it uncomfortable. Although the golden crow did not like it, if it was willing, it would be much easier to find the source. However, after thinking for a while, Xiao Chen still rejected it. Thank you for its kind intentions. However, it just came out, so don't let it take the risk. I have my own ways to search for baleful Yin energy. No, it said that there is a Yin attributed energy that it particularly hates here. Even if it hides in the immortal spirit ring, it will still be able to feel it. It needs to be eliminated. Xiao Chen laughed hoarsely. So the golden crow was doing this for its own good. He had thought that the golden crow had changed its character. That's not right. Suddenly, Xiao Chen's expression changed. It must be the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. For the golden crow to feel uncomfortable in the immortal spirit ring, it had to be the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. Other baleful Yin energy would not be this horrifying. Xiao Chen said gravely, Ao Jiao, tell it to find the source of this baleful Yin energy. However, it mustn't move alone. After it finds it, just inform me at the fastest speed. When Ao Jiao saw Xiao Chen's grave expression, she quickly reminded little yellow feather several times before letting it leave worriedly. Xiao Chen frowned and said, This little fellow won't mess around, right? I already reminded it many times. It should not mess around. Ao Jiao said uncertainly. Xiaochen shook his head and said, "Never mind. Let's go back first. If anything unexpected happens, we can just leave this profoundine star." Over the next few days, Xiaochen used the dragon-seeking art to search for dangerous lands. Perhaps Xiaochen used up all his luck on the first day. After searching several times, Xiaochen and the others did not find any baleful yin energy. Instead, they ran into danger. Finally, just as Luonan could no longer endure it, the three found another 1,000-year-old baleful yin energy 10 days later. Xiaochen did not say anything. No matter how Fei rejected, he gave up this baleful yin energy to her. When Fei successfully refined this baleful yin energy, the three came out of the crack. "Brother Wei, there are 3 people coming out of the ground. They seem to be disciples of the Tianyi sect. Take a look and see if they found anything." The scene of the 3 coming out happened to catch the attention of Wei He's group, who were searching for targets in the distance. "The Tianyi sect? I have a deep impression of them. Let me take a look." Wei He smiled faintly and shifted his gaze over. Chapter 1568. After Wei He saw clearly, he nodded and said, "It is indeed the Tianyi sect's people. That girl should have just refined the baleful yin energy not long ago. Furthermore, that baleful yin energy is of high quality. The baleful yin energy we absorbed earlier cannot compare to it. However, the Tianyi sect's people are not easy to deal with, especially that Yi Bai. Even the 3 primal core realm cultivators have a whole new level of respect for him." That's right. Out of so many people, only Yi Bai was asked a few more questions by that old man. "Should we make a move?" The 5 hesitated somewhat. After all, although they were ruthless, they were not stupid. They didn't want to suffer a double loss after trying to get the bride. Just as the 5 hesitated and were about to give up, a strange look flashed in the eyes of the Lotus Sect Temple's Feng Yun. He said seriously, "There is no need to be so conflicted. No matter how powerful that Yi Bai is, he is just a veritable essence stage cultivator. How strong can he be? At that time, we just need 2 people to delay him. As for the other 3, we can deal with Luonan and that girl after dealing with the other 2. It will be easy for the 5 of us to deal with Yi Bai. Furthermore, Brother Wei he already said that the baleful yin energy that girl absorbed is of extremely high quality. Why can't we take the risk?" Feng Yun's long speech swayed the other 4 somewhat. Wei he entered deep thought and said, "That Yi Bai is indeed not simple. However, if we suddenly make a move, we will still have some confidence, just like how we dealt with Bai Feng and Lu Yi." Soon, the 5 of them came to a consensus and began to discuss countermeasures. The Lotus Sect Temple's Feng Yun revealed a smile. "Since we have already decided, let's discuss the details. We cannot make any mistakes." The soaring cloud mountain manners Tuoba Yi said calmly. Wei He nodded and said, "Brother Tuoba is right. Otherwise, if we leave any loose ends, it will be problematic for us. I feel that we should do this." When Xiao Chen's group of 3 walked out of the crack, they did not know that they were being watched. "Senior brother Yi Bai, many thanks. Unexpectedly, Fei would have such a day." Fei who refined a complete strand of baleful yin energy, felt exceptionally happy. "You are too polite." Xiaochen did not think too much about it. After all, he had no use for it. It was just nice to give it to someone who needed it. After Profound Yin Island, he would probably leave soon. At that time, they would not have much interaction. Xiaochen still had to go to the Profound Light Great Realm and ask around. At the very least, he had to figure out where Ancestor Dragon City was. Actually, Luonan's opinion of Xiaochen had already changed significantly. However, when he saw how much his junior sister valued Xiaochen, he became unhappy out of jealousy. Let's go. There's no need to speak so much." Luonan forcefully interrupted the 2. Xiaochen stopped and raised his head to look ahead. "What's wrong?" Fei quickly asked. Ha. "Brother Yi Bai, Brother Luonan, and Miss Fei we meet again." Just at this moment, Wei He brought the other 4 people and appeared before the 3 of them. What a coincidence. As the saying goes, it's a small world. We meet again. Wei He quickly walked over and pretended to be happy as he said this with a smile. Luonan had always disliked this Wei He. Seeing Wei He smile so happily made him feel disgusted. I am not familiar with you. Yet you are smiling like a flower. Who are you showing this to? Xiao Chen smiled and replied. Indeed, it is quite a coincidence. It looks like Brother Wei He has already found companions. As the saying went, one would not slap a smiling person. Xiao Chen still knew how to put on a good show. Right. Let me introduce you. Wei He said enthusiastically. This is an outstanding disciple of the Lotus Sect Temple. This is the Flying Cloud Mountain Manor's Tuoba Yi. This is the Flying Snow Palace's young Master Yan. I have long heard of young Master Ye's great name. Brother Yi Bai, how about we travel together? We just discovered a place with baleful energy. The ferocious beasts guarding it are somewhat difficult to deal with. The Lotus Sect Temple's Feng Yun looked sincerely at Xiao Chen. Upon hearing that, Fei immediately felt tempted. Big brother Xiao Chen happened to need baleful energy. Just as Luo Nan was about to speak, Xiao Chen's voice projection rang out in Luo Nan's and Fei Er's ears. Prepare to attack. Don't ask too much. This group of people is preparing to kill us. Don't show any mercy. Don't show any changes in your expression. In the first place, Xiao Chen did not like Wei He. He already suspected it to be a coincidence that Wei He appeared out of nowhere. Now that he invited them, it was clear that they were going to kill them. The 5 of them had already absorbed a lot of baleful energy. Now they needed 3 more people. How could it be so good? I understand. I find this group of people very displeasing, Luo Nan replied in secret. He also felt somewhat excited in his heart. This was his first time experiencing such a thing since he entered the world of cultivation. What? With Xiao Chen's reminder, Fei quickly startled awake. Then she demanded angrily, how can this group of people be so vicious? After interacting with Xiao Chen for so many days, Fei already trusted Xiao Chen unconditionally. She was not stupid. After calming down and thinking for a while, she understood that something was wrong with these people. Listen to me later. I'll kill Wei He first. If the 2 of you work together, that Tuoba Yi should not be able to block you. As for Feng Yun, he was someone the 3 needed to kill as well. However, he was still useful to Xiao Chen, and could not be the first target to be killed. The 3 quickly discussed and quickly decided on a countermeasure. Wei He and the others had ulterior motives, and did not suspect anything. Feng Yun continued, what's wrong, Brother Yi? Are you not going to give us face? We are very sincere. Xiao Chen nodded and casually stepped forward. Then he performed a cupped fist salute to Wei He and said, sorry, Brother Wei He. I'm afraid I'll have to let down your kind intentions. Wei He smiled and said, not at all, not at all. Brother Yi is really too polite. There will be plenty of opportunities in the future. Let's work together. While Wei He smiled, he cursed in his heart. This little bastard is really shameless. He's so vigilant. Why don't you just attack him directly? Do it. Wei He sent a voice projection, calling for the others to attack. However, the first to make a move was not them but Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen, who had already reached the most optimal position, did not give Wei He any time to react. He immediately used the sharp spirit finger to tap Wei He's forehead. The sharp spirit finger was Xiao Chen's unique secret technique. He used all the energy in his body to execute it with one finger. Xiao Chen used all the energy in his body and pointed with 2 cauldron force, the thunder domain, the ice domain, and the vast ocean like veritable essence energy. All of them gathered at one point. Its might was so great that even a half-step primal core cultivator would find it hard to endure. Furthermore, Xiao Chen had taken advantage of the situation and occupied the most optimal position. Before the smile on Wei He's face faded away, his life force immediately vanished and he fell over. There were no signs of him dying. Fei and Luo Nan had grown up in the sect. When they worked together, they did not have perfect coordination. The instant Xiao Chen made his move, they charged at Tuoba Yi together. What's going on? Feng Yun, young Master Yan, and the others revealed extremely horrified expressions. They had not made a move yet, but Yi Bai and the others charged over. Oh no! They saw through us. Don't hold back. Kill them. Their reactions could be said to be extremely fast. After their expressions changed drastically, They immediately displayed their strongest techniques. Flying snow filling the sky. The flying snow palace's young master Yan waved his hand. Whoosh! Boundless visible icy chi directly encased Xiao Chun, and the temperature plummeted. The young master Yan before them cultivated the will of ice pretty well. He had already condensed an innate ice crystal. Unfortunately, he was still somewhat weaker than Xiao Chun, and had not comprehended a domain. Although Xiao Chun had not comprehended a domain, this flying snow filling the sky had many unique aspects. The snow filling the sky formed a great momentum, a momentum of winter arriving and sealing the world in ice. This was especially so when Xiao Chun's cultivation reached the Yin essence stage. The gentle baleful Yin energy in the flying snow made the flying snow even colder. Xiao Chun entered deep thought. It looked like the martial techniques of the outside world did indeed have many aspects worth praising. However, that was all. The other party had not mastered it, and could not bring out the essence of this move. Lotus flower sword art, Buddha's rage. Feng Yun held his palms together, and executed a sword art. A black sword light shot out of his palm. A strong wind immediately spread out, and lotus flowers danced around. A Buddhist voice roared in the sky, causing the might of this sword light to multiply. Ice domain open. With a thought, the ice domain encased Xiao Chun for 1 kilometer around him. Young Master Yan's flying snow filling the sky immediately melted without a sound. As for that strand of sword light, Xiao Chun gently waved his hand, and the lunar shadow saber appeared. Without drawing the saber, Xiao Chun only gently rotated it, and the scabbard firmly blocked the other party's sword light. Xiao Chun, who had comprehended the saber great Tao, would feel like a child dancing with the sword when facing an opponent who had not comprehended the sword Tao, unless the opponent was much stronger than him. There were too many openings, and the sword move was unstable. If the Tao might leaked out, Xiao Chun could easily resolve it. This battle could not be said to be very intense. The enemy had lost 2 of their men in a single exchange. Then, Xiao Chun easily delayed 2 people, waiting for Luo Nan and Luo Nan to finish off their opponents. This resulted in a situation of 3 against 2. Wei He's group thought very well. In the end, Xiao Chun tricked them. Without much effort, under Xiao Chun's intentional control, only Feng Yun remained, holding on bitterly. Xiao Chun wanted to capture this person alive. Chapter 1569. Wei He's group of 5 surrounded Xiao Chun. At this moment, only Feng Yun was still fighting with Xiao Chun, holding on bitterly. The Lotus Sect Temple was a subsidiary sect of the Black Lotus Church in the Purple Sun region. Although they did not have much contact with the Black Lotus Church, they should have some information about the Black Lotus Church. Feng Yun, who was fighting Xiao Chun, felt miserable. The more he fought, the more fearful he felt. A sense of helplessness spread throughout his body. No matter what kind of strong martial technique he used, he could not pose a threat to Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun easily dealt with them. Feng Yun's cultivation approached the peak of the yin-yang realm. However, before Xiao Chun, a veritable essence stage cultivator, he felt like he was being toyed with in the palm of his hand. This was especially so when Xiao Chun drew his saber. Saber intent spread out in all directions, sealing off all of Feng Yun's escape routes. Lotus flower evasion. Seeing that he could not escape, Feng Yun suddenly vomited a large mouthful of blood. Then, his figure turned into tens of thousands of lotus flowers, scattering in all directions. Xiao Chun looked around and found that the lotus flowers were hard to distinguish. He could not find any traces of the other party at all. He got away. Xiao Chun felt somewhat depressed in his heart. Originally, he had been determined to obtain this Lotus Sect Temple's Feng Yun. However, Luo Nan said excitedly, 5 people surrounded 3 of us. We killed 4 of them, and only 1 managed to escape. It looks like these people are only SOO. Fei said calmly, don't speak nonsense. If not for Senior Brother Yi by reminding us and taking the initiative, this battle would not have been so easy. This battle would not have been that easy. Xiao Chun nodded and said, these 5 people are not too weak. If I got surrounded, I would not have been able to escape. This is profound Yin Island's inner region. It is best to be more cautious. Senior Brother Yi Bai, what should we do now? Fei asked as she looked at Xiao Chun. Xiaochen entered deep thought. The two of you have each absorbed a complete strand of baleful Yin energy. You have surpassed the goal of this trip. I feel that we can return first. It will be safer there. Fei hurriedly said. No, senior apprentice brother Yi Bai. You haven't refined the baleful Yin energy yet. How can we leave? Besides, even if you find a way to refine the baleful Yin energy, we still have to protect you, right? Otherwise, what will you do if you are injured by the demonic beasts? Luonan did not say anything. Luonan was indeed embarrassed to ask Luonan to leave. Suddenly, Xiaochen's expression changed. He looked into the distance. The weak connection between him and Little Yellowfeather allowed him to sense that Little Yellowfeather was currently in the middle of a huge battle. Moreover, his condition didn't seem to be very good. Without thinking too much, Xiaochen quickly rushed over to the place where the incident happened. Fei and Luonan did not know what was going on, so they quickly followed behind. In the depths of the profound Yin Island, there was a mountain range called the Profound Yin Mountain. Strange beasts roamed the mountain range, powerful and vicious. It was a forbidden land. Very few sect disciples would go to search for baleful Yin energy. There were too many ferocious beasts in that place. Most of the people who went did not return. At this moment, a giant bird with a golden luster was flying through the mountains. From time to time, it would let out an incomparably noisy cackle. Roar. The one that roared was a black ferocious beast that looked like a ferocious tiger, possessing the strength of a half-step primal core realm cultivator. Little Yellowfeather had stolen and eaten 1,000-leaf fruit that it had guarded for 500 years. When it roared, all the beasts in the mountains were startled and ran in panic. The sound waves snapped several large trees. Chi, chi. On the ground, there was also a 1-kilometer-long snake spitting out its forked tongue as it looked coldly at the giant yellow bird in the sky. Everywhere it passed, cold chi penetrated 100 meters into the ground, directly turning the ground into frozen soil. The snake was very angry. This giant yellow bird had roasted and eaten the eggs in its nest. There was also a gargantuan golden-tailed eagle in the sky, closely following it. Upon closer inspection, one would discover that half of this golden-tailed eagle's feathers were charred. Aside from this, there were many ferocious beasts rushing over from the mountains. All of them were peak Yang Essence stage ferocious beasts. A careful count showed that Little Yellowfeather had provoked at least 10 ferocious beasts. At this level, ferocious beasts were extremely intelligent. They raged, wishing that they could swallow this Little Yellowfeather alive. My goodness, I've gone a little too far this time. Although Little Yellowfeather could not speak yet, it had already gained intelligence. Its eyes looked around, and it was somewhat frightened. Little Yellowfeather had provoked too many ferocious beasts, so they surrounded it. Even so, Little Yellowfeather's nimble speed allowed it to dodge many attacks while surrounded. Sometimes Little Yellowfeather even spat out flames, burning those ferocious beasts and making them cry out in pain. Every time this happened, even though the little fellow knew that it was dangerous, it could not help laughing cockily. When Xiaochen arrived before Profound Yin Mountain, Fei and Luonan were stunned. Senior brother Yi Bai, this Profound Yin Mountain is very dangerous. Before we come out, Master instructed us to absolutely not go in. Fei revealed a worried expression in her eyes. Luonan listened carefully. The ferocious roars of many terrifying ferocious beasts came from the mountain range. What's going on? The ferocious beasts in this mountain are very angry. Luonan felt somewhat startled and could not help taking a few steps back. Xiaochen thought for a while. Then he gently pushed off with his feet and slowly soared into the air, flying towards Profound Yin Mountain. Fei shook her head but followed after. Junior sister. Luonan gritted his teeth in frustration. However, he had no choice but to follow. Soon, the three saw the scene of 10 odd ferocious beasts surrounding and killing Little Yellowfeather. Luonan exclaimed in shock. Damn! Where did this huge yellow-feathered bird come from? How arrogant! Xiaochen replied calmly, my spirit pet. When Luonan heard that, he exclaimed in shock. Your spirit pet? Fei asked directly. Big brother Xiaochen, are you going to save it? Xiaochen nodded. However, his expression was rather unsightly. This little fellow wanted it to go look for 10,000-year-old baleful energy. After not seeing it for a few days, it created such a huge mess. Luonan said sullenly. That is 10 odd ferocious beasts. There is even a half-step primal core realm ink flame tiger. Isn't that too risky? I can't care about that anymore. You all should back off first. Right after Luonan spoke, Xiaochen quickly descended. Little human, what are you trying to do? As soon as he finished speaking, several messages appeared in his mind. Xiaochen was not surprised. Ferocious beasts that had cultivated to this level would more or less have some intelligence. It's my spiritual pet. I'm taking it away. If I've offended you in any way, I'm sorry. Fei and Luo Nan were greatly startled. Xiaochen, who had jumped down rashly, actually did not get eaten by this group of ferocious beasts. Berserk beasts had been honed in the cruel wild environment for a long time, and their instincts were the most accurate. When Xiaochen landed, the young essence stage ferocious beast felt its heart palpitate and immediately hesitated. Even though he was infuriated, he did not make a move on the spot. Bastard, it roasted my snake egg. How can I let it go? My old nest in the mountains has been burned down by it. I can't bear it. Scram, you must swallow it alive. A series of furious voice projections rang out in Xiaochen's mind, giving him a headache. Xiaochen turned his head and looked at little Yellow Feather, who had already turned into an obedient bird. Then he smiled and said, I didn't realize that you have such talent in the past. Incredible. Little Yellow Feather puffed out its chest and flapped its wings, thinking that Xiaochen was praising it. Little fellow, we ferocious beasts have an agreement with your sect. Profound Een Mountain is a forbidden land. If we don't go down the mountain to eat sect disciples, the sect will not interfere in our business. That half-step primal core realming flame tiger stepped forward and gave off a tyrannical air. Then it continued sending a voice projection. I'll give you two choices. The first is to obediently retreat, and we will pretend that we did not discover you. The second is to stay. We will eat your flesh and drink your blood to raise our cultivation. Chapter 1570. Roar. Xiaochen's mockery immediately stirred up the violent ink flame tiger's temper. It roared ferociously and launched itself at Xiaochen. The ink flame tiger moved very fast, tearing through space like a beam of black light, disappearing in a flash. Right after the ink flame tiger spoke, its gargantuan body appeared before Xiaochen. This development startled Xiaochen slightly. Unexpectedly, this ink flame tiger was so fast. In the time it took for a spark to fly, Xiaochen executed the fish dragon art. In the blink of an eye, he left behind several afterimages on the ground. Cassie. The afterimages shattered. When Xiaochen retreated far away and found his footing, 2 crisscross claw marks appeared on his chest. Blood seeped through his white robe and dyed a large area red. Luonan exclaimed softly, how did this fellow cultivate his physical body? To think that he only suffered superficial wounds from the ink flame tiger's attack. Senior brother, what should we do now? Fei paced around anxiously. She had a kind heart. When she saw Xiaochen, who had helped her and her senior brother, in danger, she immediately started worrying. When Luonan heard this, he quickly pulled Fei behind him and took a few steps back. Then he said, at this moment, not interfering is the best help. His aura can suppress those young essence stage ferocious beasts. This already explains a lot. If we go down and help, those young essence stage ferocious beasts will immediately tear us to shreds. If we try to save us, we will end up distracting Xiaochen. Believe in Xiaochen. Since he dares to go down, he must be confident. Although Luonan was upset that his junior sister was so worried about Xiaochen, he still did his best to calm Fei down for her sake. Below, Xiaochen looked at the wound on his chest. Unexpectedly, the other party's claws were so sharp. They were much stronger than the golden-rimmed demon-tone bat. Xiaochen no longer dared to be careless. He needed to use his full power to deal with such a half-step primal core ferocious beast. When the other ferocious beasts saw the ink flame tiger rage, they did not dare to interfere. This was good. Since coming to the Great Thousand Realms, Xiaochen had never truly fought at full power before. He would use this battle to test his own strength. Xiao Chun waved his left hand, and the lunar shadow saber appeared. Then he looked up at the ink flame tiger and unleashed his Dao might. The ink flame tiger felt a wave of pressure, and it roared somewhat impatiently. The ferocious aura emitted from his body grew stronger and stronger. In the end, it turned into a thick black smoke that soared into the sky. This scene was immediately sensed by the guards of the profound Een Island stronghold. The ferocious beasts of Mystic Een Mountain are on a rampage again. Should we go and take a look? What is there to see? Every year, there are people who are not afraid of death, wanting to go to the profound Een Mountain. If the old monster of Mystic Een Mountain is provoked, then it will be a big problem. You're right. In profound Een Mountain, Xiao Chun faced the ink flame tiger that had forced out all of its baleful aura. Feeling a trace of pressure, the might of the great Dao slowly condensed into a point. Roar. The roaring ink flame tiger roared at Xiao Chun and a berserk aura surged toward Xiao Chun. Dao. Xiao Chun said softly, and the great Dao energy that he condensed into a point soared up by 1 meter. Then his aura clashed without fear. Boom. Amid loud sounds, the two berserk auras clashed, neither giving way to the other. Many ferocious beasts within 50,000 kilometers fled in panic. Countless birds soared into the air. Kill! Xiao Chun drew his saber and immediately charged out to deal with such ferocious beasts. There was no other way but to be even more ruthless than it. Even more ferocious. After 20 years of experience in the Kunlun realm, the Emperor's Road, the demonic calamity, and the baptism of countless great battles, Xiao Chun's killing chi was heavy and stable, far from what this ink flame tiger could compare to. In this clash, this ink flame tiger's baleful aura was actually slightly weaker than Xiao Chun's. Rumble. Loud sounds rang out endlessly. One man and one beast fought in this mountain forest. Xiao Chun used the flawless saber technique together with the Yin-Yang saber domain to support his great Dao energy. He did not need to use Dermic World or the Dragon Blood Soul Breaking Finger, just his saber techniques and strong physical body. He was evenly matched with the ink flame tiger, not at all inferior. His white robes were dyed red, and there were many wounds all over his body. However, his aura did not weaken in the slightest. The more they fought, the fiercer they became. The saber light flickered and reflected in his eyes. His eyes revealed a calm and ferocious look, startling the surrounding ferocious beasts. The ink flame tiger didn't have it easy either. Although it was a ferocious beast, it had the advantage of having thick skin and thick flesh. However, Xiao Chun's saber energy was infused with great Dao energy, allowing it to permeate his body every time. This made it extremely uncomfortable, and many cracks appeared in its internal organs. Whoosh! The trembling man and beast moved away from each other. The ink flame tiger crawled on all fours, roaring continuously. Its ferocious nature had been completely stimulated. As it panted, black flames surged and danced all over its body. In the ink flame tiger's memory, there had never been such a ferocious sect disciple. Just at the veritable essence stage, he could force it into such a miserable state. If the ink flame tiger could not kill this white-clad bladesman today, it would not have a foothold in profound Een Mountain in the future. Xiao Chun stood upright while holding his saber. The ink flame tiger before him was harder to deal with than he imagined. Even in the Kunlun realm, few people would be able to break the defense of that fur. Furthermore, its speed was even faster than lightning. The other party's slender, streamlined body gave it a natural advantage in terms of speed. For a long time, Xiao Chun had been very confident in his movement technique. However, his body was riddled with wounds of various sizes, all from the other party using speed to forcibly break through his saber light. However, everything was still within Xiao Chun's control. He had not used any of his 4 trump cards yet. As long as he used any one of them, he could immediately turn the situation around. Chapter 1571. The 10,000-year-old Een energy had been found? Xiao Chun was delighted, but in the blink of an eye, he calmed down. Blondie had always been unreliable. Look at what it had done in the mysterious Een Mountain. Roasting snake eggs, stealing spirit herbs guarded by others, burning bird nests. No matter how he looked at it, he couldn't be too convinced. Xiao Chun asked suspiciously, Is that place safe? Safe, very safe. There is only a small snake there, Ao Jiao said. Regardless of whether it was safe or not, he had to rest for a while and recover his yuan qi. After calling out to Fei and Luonan, Xiaochen found a quiet place and sat down to recover his exhausted essence. The battle just now could be said to be incomparably delightful. This also allowed Xiaochen to recognize his own strength. If he did not use his trump cards, he would be on par with a half-step primal core cultivator. It was hard to tell who would win. After all, half-step primal core realm cultivators were not like ferocious beasts. Their combat experience and intelligence were higher than ferocious beasts. No matter how ferocious a beast was, it could not be more dangerous than a human's heart. At the same time, Xiaochen also realized the shortcomings of his movement technique. He seemed to be invincible among his peers. However, when he ran into this ink flame tiger, he suffered greatly. The other party's straightforward attacks were truly fast to the point that he could not predict them. There were still many areas that needed to be improved upon. Movement techniques generally consisted of 2 points. One was speed, and the other was evasion. The fish dragon art mainly focused on changing one's surroundings, dodging within a small area. It was derived from the spirit fish of the immortal world and strengthened. The area that needed to be improved should be short-range ambushes, in other words, pure speed. Thoughts flashed through Xiaochen's mind. The ink flame tiger leaped like thunder, launching surprise attacks faster than lightning. There were many things that could be used for reference. While Xiaochen was recuperating and recovering his essence, Feng Yun, who had executed a life-saving evasion technique and turned into thousands of lotus leaves, was also on the other side. It was also at this moment that he revealed himself. His face was pale without a trace of blood, and his body was clearly much weaker than before. That life-saving escape technique obviously couldn't be used rashly, as the price would be unbearable. How unlucky! I actually used this life-saving escape technique in front of a true energy realm. Feng Yun leaned against the wall, touched his wound, and said weakly. At the same time, his mind was spinning. He had long recognized Xiaochen as the person on the wanted list issued by the sect. Now he seemed to understand why the sect had ordered him to keep a low profile when he saw this person. All Xiaochen needed to do was report the exact location, and wait for the Black Lotus Church's church master to personally send someone over. After all, the Black Lotus Church was not in this astral region. Even though they were separated by such a long distance, the black-faced sect leader still regarded Xiaochen with such importance. It was clear that Xiaochen was not an ordinary person. Initially, he was thinking of capturing Xiaochen alive and bringing him back to the sect to claim the credit. But from the looks of it now, that was no longer possible. As long as he could return alive and report the news of Xiaochen, everything would be fine. What is this place? It's so cold. Feng Yun looked around, tightened his clothes, and asked doubtfully. Back then, in order to escape for his life, he randomly chose a direction and flew for half a day. As a result, Feng Yun had no idea where he was now. There was a small river not far away. Strange. It is just ordinary river water. Why is the surroundings so frighteningly cold? Feng Yun startled awake. Only then did he discover that he was in an extremely remote place that he had never heard of before. After checking the river water, Feng Yun did not discover anything special. Just as Feng Yun was feeling bewildered, he stumbled and fell into the river. The rapid flow of the river swept him to the bottom of the river in an instant. A bone-chilling cold immediately froze Feng Yun's body. Oh no! I was already severely injured by Xiaochen in the first place, so I risked my life to use an evasion technique. Injuries upon injuries, could it be that I, Feng Yun, am going to drown to death? In his daze, Feng Yun maintained a trace of consciousness, doing his best not to faint. PFFF. After some time, Feng Yun coughed a few times and spat out a large mouthful of cold water. It turned out that he had been washed to a shallow part of an underground river. In his fluster, Feng Yun quickly got up in a sorry state. After calming down and recovering some essence, Feng Yun's complexion improved significantly. He cautiously looked around and walked along the underground river. After a while, a surprised expression appeared on his face. Baleful energy. Feng Yun felt an extremely dense baleful yin energy. He had never come in contact with such strong baleful yin energy before. Even from a distance, it sent chills down one's spine. When Feng Yun thought of a certain legend on Profound Yin Island, his body trembled in excitement. Could it be 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy? Even if it isn't, it should be several thousand years old. One who survives a great calamity is bound to have good fortune. Is this my fortuitous encounter? Just as Feng Yun was about to walk forward, he calmly stopped. No. Even if I were at my peak, it would be difficult for me to hunt for 1,000-year-old baleful yin energy. Furthermore, in my current state, it might be 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy. No matter how great a fortuitous encounter was, one had to be alive to enjoy it. Just me alone won't do. I have to work with others. They have to be the strongest of the sect disciples. Otherwise, no matter how many people come, they will all die. At this moment, many candidates appeared in Feng Yun's mind. For example, the Clear Feather Sect's first senior brother, who was much stronger than Wei He, the Flying Snow Palace's Lu Mu, the Soaring Cloud Mountain Manor's Tuoba Yun. These were the disciples of the various major sects, the leaders of this trip to Profound Yin Island. At this moment, they should be leading their junior brothers on an adventure. Aside from ensuring their own harvest, they also had the responsibility of taking care of their junior brothers. It's settled then. After making up his mind, Feng Yun left behind a set of coordinates and quickly left. If 100 people absorbed 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy, it would be a great opportunity. He did not have to worry about sharing it with others. On the other side, Xiao Chen's group of 3, who had rested, quickly moved about under Little Yellowfeather's lead. Luo Nan exclaimed excitedly, "Is it really 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy? This is a great opportunity." Feiger rolled her eyes at Luo Nan and said, "Why are you so excited? Just protect Big Brother Xiaochen later. Don't get any ideas about the 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy. Big Brother Xiaochen already found 1,000-year-old baleful yin energy for us. This is already a rare opportunity." When Xiaochen heard that, he smiled. He rather liked Feiger's character. She was pure, naive, and knew how to be grateful. As for Luo Nan, although Xiaochen was disrespectful to Luo Nan, that was only because he was jealous. Luo Nan's character was not that bad. With the two of them protecting him, Xiaochen felt much more at ease. "Xiaochen, why do you not seem anxious at all?" Luo Nan asked, finding it strange when he saw Xiaochen's calm expression. Even an outsider like Luo Nan felt extremely excited about the 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy. To think that Xiaochen remained calm, his mental state like a 1,000-year-old ancient lake. "If one day, you experience as much as I did, you will be like me," Xiaochen said calmly with a faint smile. Luo Nan's lips twitched as he said, "You make it sound like you experienced a lot of things. Oh right, where did your yellow-feathered bird get its spirit pet? I don't know what kind of bird it is. It is very skinny and unprepossessing, but it is very arrogant. To think that you actually managed to find 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy for it." Boom. Right after Luo Nan spoke, a flame flew over. Caught off guard, half of Luo Nan's hair burned off. This startled Luo Nan. He jumped up and down, putting in a lot of effort before he managed to extinguish the flame. "Junior sister, don't stop me. Today, I have to teach this yellow-feathered bird a lesson." In the blink of an eye, half of Luo Nan's hair was burned off. A charred smell spread from his head, and white smoke rose. Luo Nan was so frustrated that he felt like exploding. Fei who was currently tidying Luo Nan's hair, smiled and said, "Senior brother, I'm not stopping you. However, that bird dares to provoke 10 odd ferocious beasts. Are you sure you want to seek trouble with it?" Hey, Big Brother Xiaochen stopped. "We should have reached the place. Let's quickly go and take a look." Under Little Yellowfeather's guidance, the 3 entered the river and sank along with it. Gurgle. Water splashed everywhere, and 3 bodies emerged from the river. They were so cold that they shivered. Xiaochen closed his eyes and sensed for a while. When he opened them again, he looked at the dark, unknown land in front. Then he said, "It is indeed 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy. Its hiding place is really well hidden." Chapter 1572. There was a pitch-black cave entrance at the end of the underground river. The dense baleful energy came from there. When the two walked to the cave entrance, a berserk baleful energy had already formed. The fierce wind was like a knife, and even the wind contained a cold and bleak chi. Standing at the entrance of the cave. Standing at the cave entrance, Luo Nan and Fei felt the pressure. If not for the fact that they had already advanced to the essence stage and absorbed the 1,000-year-old baleful energy, it would have been very difficult for them to enter. Big brother Xiaochen, the baleful energy here is very strong. Be careful in front. Fei found it somewhat difficult to speak. Walking was even more strenuous. Junior sister, are you all right? Luo Nan looked worriedly at Fei as he shielded her. Suddenly, the pressure on the two lessened. They felt that the baleful energy in the wind had weakened significantly, becoming nearly negligible. It turned out that Xiaochen had blocked the Dao Might that he sent out alone. This startled Luo Nan. As he looked at Xiaochen in front, he vaguely saw a disk of light shining behind him. Even in the dark night, it did not look very conspicuous. However, that weak light deterred Luo Nan from looking at it directly. It felt like a saber light pierced their eyes. It's that light again. What kind of martial technique is that? Or is it some kind of realm? It feels like there are traces of saber intent in it, but it is not complete. What exactly are the origins of this Xiaochen? When fighting the Ink Flame Tiger, Xiaochen had released his Dao Might once, instantly suppressing the berserk aura of the Ink Flame Tiger. Now, Xiaochen released his Dao Might again, reducing the pressure on the two. This startled Luo Nan. Hee. Big brother Xiaochen is really incredible. Senior brother, let's leave some restrictions here to prevent others from barging in. Oh. Luo Nan withdrew his gaze and nodded somewhat absent-mindedly. Then he and Fei left a formation at the entrance. The Tianyi sect had some accumulations in formations. These two were pretty skilled in them. Xiaochen looked back from a distance. He felt that the restrictions the two left were much stronger than what he learned from Emperor Wu. The Great Thousand Realms martial Dao inheritances were much stronger than the Kunlun realms. And this was only a first-grade sect. How strong would a second-grade sect or a third-grade sect be? What kind of existence was Ancestor Dragon City, where Lu Riyue was? Xiaochen turned his head around and looked ahead cautiously. He did not see the small snake that little Yellow Feather mentioned. He wanted it to come out and give it some instructions. But no matter what, little Yellow Feather refused to come out. It did not like this kind of cold environment. Luo Nan, who was laying the formation, appeared somewhat distracted as he looked at Fei Er's face. He and his junior sister had entered the Tianyi sect at the same time. He had fallen in love with this junior sister the moment he first learned to love her. However, junior martial sister Fei was kind-hearted and beautiful. She had countless suitors in the sect. Among them, there were many senior brothers who were more outstanding than him. Fortunately, his junior sister never agreed, and even kept a certain distance from those people. This made his inferiority complex feel a little better, and he even felt a little happy. At the very least, his junior martial sister liked being with him. However, after Xiaochen came out, everything changed. Luo Nan repeatedly spoke rudely to Xiaochen, even mocking him. However, due to the sense of danger in his heart, Luo Nan felt that he was inferior to the other party in every aspect. His junior martial sister seemed to be overly concerned about Xiaochen. The most important thing was that Luo Nan discovered that he was indeed inferior to Xiaochen. Furthermore, he was far from it, be it mental state, strength, or bearing. Junior sister, I have something to say to you. Luo Nan, who was laying the formation, suddenly said to Fei Er. Fei Er was somewhat busy and did not raise her head. Senior brother, what do you want to say? Do you feel that I am very useless compared to Xiaochen? Luo Nan asked softly after he drummed up his courage, blushing somewhat. Fei Er stopped what she was doing and looked up with a serious expression. Senior brother, why would you have such a thought? Luo Nan did not know how to answer. He could not say a single word of the words he had already organized in his mind. Fei Er smiled strangely and asked, Senior brother, what are you trying to say? Luo Nan endured the conflict in his heart and remained silent for a while. Then he said softly, I feel that junior sister and Xiaochen are quite compatible. The moment Luo Nan said that, he no longer dared to look at Fei Er's expression. The smile on Fei Er's face immediately vanished, and she turned cold. Is this what senior brother wants to say to me? When Luo Nan heard this, he felt that something was wrong. He raised his head and said, No, what's wrong? Nothing. I don't want to speak. Fei Er remained silent, not saying anything more. After that, the two remained silent. Fei Er did not say anything either. This made Luo Nan feel strangely empty. However, he did not know what to say. He did not know how he had angered his junior sister. After traveling for 1.5 kilometers, the baleful winds grew increasingly stronger. Xiaochen turned his head and said, Luo Nan and Fei Er, the two of you stay here. Don't advance any further. We will see the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy soon. Fei Er nodded, surprisingly not saying anything in response. Instead, Luo Nan said, Go on then. The two of us will stand guard here. We guarantee that nothing will disturb you from absorbing the baleful Yin energy. Xiaochen felt that the two were behaving strangely. However, this should be a private matter, so it was not convenient for him to say too much. Xiaochen nodded gently and expressed his thanks. After some thought, Xiaochen got little Yellow Feather to come out and stand guard here. It was better to be safe than sorry. Nothing could go wrong while absorbing the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. Otherwise, Xiaochen would not be able to endure the backlash. The 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy drew closer. Although his vision was obstructed, Xiaochen could sense that it was not far away. After a while, Xiaochen raised his Dao might to the peak. Then he endured the vast baleful winds. Xiaochen saw a 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy, hidden on a stone platform at the end of the somewhat dark space. That baleful Yin energy was very dense and frighteningly black. It looked somewhat like some of the black whirlpools that Xiaochen had seen in the starry heavens. As the whirlpools spun, strands of black light spread out in the surroundings like lightning. This formed an isolation zone, protecting the baleful Yin energy. The black baleful Yin energy spun like a hurricane in the quiet space. Suddenly, 2 clumps of green flames lit up in the hurricane. The glossy green light was like a pair of sinister eyes, making Xiaochen's heart tremble. According to rumor, this baleful Yin energy already gained some intelligence. Could it be true? Whoosh! A black light flashed, and the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy burrowed into the ground. The answer went without saying. The 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy used its reaction to tell Xiaochen the truth of the rumor. You want to leave? How can it be that easy? Xiaochen had worked so hard to get here. Naturally, he would not let it slip away. A divine weapon shot out, and an intense explosion rang out where the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy originally was. The ground exploded, and dirt flew everywhere. The 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy was blasted out. Boom, boom, boom. Explosions rang out continuously. Every time the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy tried to flee, Xiaochen forced it out. No matter how fast the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy fled, it was not as fast as Xiaochen's saber light. Xiaochen's spiritual sense spread out into the surroundings. He grasped the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy's every move. Although this 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy had a ferocious nature, it also gained intelligence. However, its intelligence had not matured yet. Compared to Xiaochen, it was just like a child. You can't escape. Xiaochen smiled faintly, and his Taiji saber domain spread out, encasing everything within 10 kilometers. The 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy turned into an incredibly pitch-black clump of light moving about chaotically. However, the saber domain encased the surroundings, making it like an impenetrable fortress, preventing it from burrowing into the ground. Dao. Xiaochen called out softly. Then, he gathered the great Dao's might in one direction, and pressed it towards the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. The great Dao's might was like a formless mountain range, suppressing the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy in a certain direction, greatly reducing its mobility. As Xiaochen approached, the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy's range of movement shrank. Gather. Finding an opportunity, Xiaochen focused the great Dao's might on one point. Then he took a step forward and completely suppressed the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy with his aura. The black baleful Yin energy spun wildly, sending out many blade-like strong winds. It was obvious that he was furious. The strong winds also carried traces of sinister electric light. When one touched it gently, one would feel pain in one's finger. The 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy hid in a corner, looking like a porcupine covered in thorns as it glared at Xiao Chun. Xiao Chun entered deep thought. This 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy is really not easy to deal with. The other baleful Yin energy were not as crafty and nimble. However, there was some risk in absorbing and refining it. If not for Xiao Chun having some means, he might not have been able to subdue it. The energy of the thunder domain gathered in Xiao Chun's palm and merged with the ice domain. Then a drop of dragon blood came out of his palm. When the three energies merged, Xiao Chun ferociously smashed his palm down, producing a loud sound. Under the suppression of absolute strength, all the lightning and wind blades that shot out shattered. This strike thoroughly injured the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. Furthermore, with the suppression of the Tao's might, it weakened significantly. Xiao Chun took this opportunity to open his hand and ferociously suck, swallowing the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy into his body. The berserk energy immediately surged about in his body, becoming like a wild horse galloping about, berserk and hard to tame. The rest would depend on Xiao Chun's ability to refine, absorb, and advance to the Yin essence stage. At the same time, Feng Yan led a group of unwelcome guests underground. Chapter 1573. As expected of the Clear Feather Sect's senior brother Feng, your mental strength is much stronger than ours. Feng Yan heaved a sigh of relief and quickly flattered the other party. Some people would die from eating too much, while others could perfectly digest and replenish themselves after eating too much. The few of them were in high spirits and did not pay too much attention to it. His strength and talent were much higher than Wei He's. It's a restriction. Feng Yan frowned slightly and said faintly, "The method of setting up this formation is not simple. It seems that someone else came in ahead of us." The flying snow palace's Lu Mu's face sank. A trace of murderous intent flashed in his eyes as he said furiously, "Feng Yan, are you messing with us?" Just this alone was enough to keep him busy. He could not afford to be distracted at all. The Clear Feather Sect's Feng Yan nodded and said, "That's right. There's no need to have any objections. The energy contained in the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy is something that the four of us cannot completely absorb, even after using all our strength. There's no need for any disputes or schemes. It's fine as long as we are of one mind." Lu Mu's eyes were sharp. He asked in a deep voice, "Brother Feng Yan, what's wrong?" It was Feng Yan again. This fellow from the Lotus Sect Temple was really like a ghost that refused to go away. That seems to be the case. The other two also noticed it after carefully sensing it. Xiao Chen's spiritual sense was much stronger than Fei Er's and Luo Nan's mental energy. He could grasp every movement around him. Among them, the black demonic ape was the strongest, an early-stage primal core cultivator. As for the other two ferocious beasts, they were comparable to the ink flame tiger that Xiao Chun had fought earlier. Little Yellow Feather stuck its head out from Luo Nan's side and looked around, showing that something was wrong as well. The two-headed hound and the blue lion transmitted their voices to each other. He had reached a crucial moment in refining this 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. If he was not careful, he might explode and die. Feng Yan hid his smile and said, "It's nothing. It's just that Yi Bai is not easy to deal with. I feel that we should be more cautious." "That's right. He won't be able to swallow the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy alone. If he doesn't know his place, I don't mind killing him as well." At this moment, the Yin Spectre sensed the fluctuation of Xiao Chen's heart. Taking advantage of this opportunity, it actually broke free from Xiao Chen's restraints and forcefully entered Xiao Chen's sea of consciousness. However, Feng Yan's strength is indeed the strongest among the three, so Feng Yan's first target is him. If he didn't have a certain level of strength, how could he be so trusted? Not to mention, if he was disturbed by an attack, the refinement would definitely fail, and he might even lose his life here. As he spoke, A hint of arrogance flashed between his brows. It was obvious that while he acknowledged Yi Bai, he was also extremely confident in his own strength. In front of the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy, this bit of risk was completely worth taking, and could even be said to be nothing. If he had known this would happen, he would have used his trump card right away, not giving the other party a chance to escape. Perhaps such a thing would not have happened. Haha, Brother Wang, don't make things difficult for Brother Feng Yin. We have to thank Brother Feng Yin for sharing the information about this place with us. Just as the four of them entered the formation, water splashed out from the underground river behind them, and three ferocious beasts leaped out. The 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy contained an enormous amount of energy. Furthermore, it had gained sentience, making it even more difficult to deal with. At this moment, the Lotus Sect Temple's Feng Yin had a flushed complexion and a smile on his face. He was in a very good mood as he led the three peak Yin Essence stage cultivators along the underground river. To think that this ferocious baleful Yin energy would fight to the death, turning from guest to host, wanting to directly swallow up Xiao Chen's soul and possess Xiao Chen. Tuoba Yun smiled and said, "It is just one Yi Bai. How can he scare the three of us? At worst, we'll just kill Luo Nan and his junior sister, and the few of us can split the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy." Could it be that the person who came cannot even kill Lord Jiao Snake? The one who spoke was the Clear Feather Sect's Feng Yun, Wei He's senior brother, the leader of the Clear Feather Sect disciples this time. Feng Yun's mental state experienced some disturbance, causing some fluctuations. Lu Mu smiled and said, "I was just saying it casually. Brother Feng Yun already made a vow. How can I doubt you?" Suddenly, Feng Yun's expression changed slightly. He raised his hand to stop Lu Mu. "Wait a moment." The moment Feng Yun's group of four stepped into the formation, Xiao Chen, who was anxiously refining the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy, sensed it. This was the advantage of having deep accumulations. The group of four advanced along the underground river. Soon, they felt the cold, sinister wind, and they immediately revealed smiles on their faces. It has been more than 100 years. Lord Jiao Snake has not allowed any ferocious beasts to approach this place. Why did it send us here to kill people today? Something is wrong. Feng Yin stopped walking and said doubtfully, "This sinister wind is much weaker than when I arrived. The difference is like heaven and earth. It is completely different from when I first arrived." Yi Bai was strong enough, but the three of them were not weak, either. Their cultivations were even higher than Yi Bai's. The Clear Feather Sect's Feng Yin said quickly, "Don't get agitated. No matter what, Brother Feng Yin would not have the guts to trick the three of us at the same time. It should not be fake. Most importantly, I did sense lingering baleful Yin energy. It is very dense and strong." The black demonic ape said indifferently, "Don't overthink. Lord Jiao Snake is an existence that can speak directly with those sect elders. It definitely would not let us make a move against someone it cannot deal with. It must have some reservations." What was impossible about that? Little Yellow Feather was the one who found this place first. He just happened to find it inside the formation at the cave entrance. Of course, people like Xiao Chen, who possessed the bloodline of the Great Desolate 100 races and possessed incredibly deep accumulations, would definitely be different. What a hidden place. This place is already very desolate and desolate in the first place. Most people would not come here. To think that there is a hidden place under the river, a completely different world. The Clear Feather Sect's Feng Yin nodded and said in agreement, "A major primal core realm cultivator's judgment cannot be wrong. That Yi Bai is definitely not easy to deal with. However, since we are already here, there is no reason for us to retreat." Feng Yin was bold and skilled. He immediately led the way into the formation. Everyone was entrusted with heavy responsibilities by their sect, having the responsibility of protecting their juniors. Luo Nan sensed for a while, and his expression changed slightly. "It's Feng Yun, Tuoba Yun Lu Mu, and the Lotus Sect Temple's Feng Yun. Aside from Feng Yun, none of them were people that the three of them could deal with." "What?" The three were startled, finding this somewhat strange. He was the soaring cloud mountain manner's Tuoba Yun. His physical body, movement technique, and leg techniques were exceptionally strong. His thoughts were boundlessly chaotic, and it was hard for his mental state to fluctuate. What's wrong? The three looked at Feng Yin. The last person, a stout man, smiled boldly and said in a magnanimous manner. After walking a few more kilometers, they arrived at the entrance of the cave. Then their expressions turned grave. There was a standing black demonic ape, a two-headed ferocious dog, and a gigantic blue lion. Whoosh! 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 At the mention of Yi Bai's name, an uncontrollable fear flashed on Feng Yun's face, and his body shrank back slightly. However, just these alone were not enough to cause Xiao Chen's mental state to fluctuate. Feng Yun's expression changed dramatically. That's impossible. Feng Yun's heart immediately sank. He could not afford to offend any one of these three people. With the strength of these three, it would not be an exaggeration to say that they were among the top 3 of the 100-odd elite disciples. Fei said somewhat anxiously, "This is not good. They are all difficult people to deal with. It is indeed a completely different world. Who could have imagined that there would be a hidden path at the bottom of the river? Brother Feng Yin, how did you find this place back then? Was it really a coincidence?" The main thing was that the other 3 were very strong. Even with the help of the formation, Fei and Luo Nan would find it hard to deal with them. Squeak! Squeak! Since the 2 had promised Xiao Chen, they definitely could not retreat. If that happened, the situation would be extremely dangerous. If the 2 left, Xiao Chen could still feel at ease. However, if they died protecting him here, he would not be able to feel at ease. They were like thousands of wild horses that needed to be tamed one by one. Feeling vexed, Luo Nan pushed Feng Yin to the side and said, "You little bird, stop causing trouble. Go and play with fire." Feng Yin quickly explained, "I really had a fortuitous encounter with this place. I only discovered it by chance after a series of accidents." The other person at the side, the Flying Snow Palace's Lu Mu, looked at Feng Yin with some suspicion. "Right. Let's not delay any further. If we complete Lord Jiao Snake's task, we will definitely be heavily rewarded." The 3 strong ferocious beasts stopped communicating and carefully walked forward. It looks like the Tianyi sex formation. It should be senior brother and junior sister Luo Nan, and that Yi Bai. The flying cloud mountain manners Tuoba Yin analyzed after checking. However, they could only feel anxious now. The 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy contained incredibly vast baleful Yin energy. Come, let's break the formation together. The hearts of Luo Nan and Fei who were in a cold war, sank. They exchanged glances at the same time. Someone is coming. Chapter 1574. At the entrance of the cave, Feng Yin was the first to enter the formation. There were a total of 3 formations in the restriction. 1 was a bewildering formation, and 2 were killing formations. When used together, the threat was extremely great. But since Feng Yin dared to come in, he obviously had a plan. The moment they stepped into the formation, the scene before them immediately changed. A white mist enveloped Feng Yin's group of 4. From time to time, a gust of wind would blow through the fog, interfering with one's senses. Feng Yin looked around and said, "This maze isn't too powerful. Give me some time and I can break it. Everyone, don't panic. Just deal with it calmly." No matter how strong the formation was, the people who laid it were just Luo Nan and Fei. It would not be overly strong. With their outstanding individual strength, Feng Yin, Lu Mu, and Tuoba Mu were more than enough to deal with them. As for Lotus Sect Temple's Feng Yin, he was at the very back, so he didn't need to do much. "Junior sister, let's activate 2 killing arrays at the same time and scatter their formation." "Yes." Fei nodded lightly and formed hand seals with a serious expression. Kacha. Amidst the white fog, in front of Feng Yin's group of 4, a monstrous wave suddenly appeared. The wave was monstrous and terrifying. It was as if it wanted to devour everything. Insignificant skill. The Flying Snow Palace's Lu Mu did not show any fear in the face of danger. He smiled coldly and threw a palm strike just as the towering waves were about to reach him. Ooh! This palm strike stirred up a boundless cold wind, and within the wind were pieces of flying snow. Every piece of flying snow was sparkling and translucent, flickering with flowing light. When the thousands of snowflakes entered the tsunami, the surging waves slowed down. As if in slow motion, it completely froze and was sealed in ice. Bang! Tuoba Yin charged forward ferociously and kicked out. Kasi. The frozen sea immediately shattered into thousands of pieces. However, he didn't give them time to celebrate. At the same time the ice shattered, strong winds blew in from all directions, howling and moving astonishingly fast. The few of them hurriedly dodged, but when they looked back, they found that their formation had already been messed up. Don't panic. Protect yourself. I'll break the maze immediately. Just as Tuoba Yin and the other two panicked, Fang Yun's calm voice rang out in their ears. Who? A cool breeze blew, and a note of the maze was removed by Fang Yun. The dense fog instantly dispersed, and the few people who were separated immediately calmed down. We cannot let Fang Yun break the bewildering formation. Luonan felt very anxious. Unexpectedly, Fang Yun was so strong. If this went on and no one interfered, it wouldn't be long before the maze was broken. Once the bewildering array was broken, the two-layered killing array wouldn't last long against Fang Chang's trio. At that time, the two of them would be crushed to death. Tuoba Yin and Lu Mu had already given them a hard time. With the addition of Fang Yun, there was no suspense at all. Luonan gave Fei Er a look. Fei Er nodded gently and slowly formed hand seals. In the maze, a murderous aura pierced through the thick fog, piercing towards Fang Yun, who was concentrating on breaking the array. Dang! Fang Yun raised his hand and slapped the killing intent away, only to discover that it was just a feint. Fang Yun, you've been tricked. Luonan rejoiced in his heart. His true body appeared behind Fang Yun and stabbed out at lightning speed. Who knew something strange happened? When Luonan's sword pierced through Fang Yun, it was just an illusion. Just as Luonan retreated, Fang Yun suddenly appeared on the left and landed a palm strike on Luonan's shoulder, causing him to vomit blood. Trying to trick me? The two of you are still too inexperienced. As Fang Yun watched Luonan's figure disappear into the thick clouds, he smiled faintly and did not give chase. Outside the cave, the three ferocious beasts rushed over. When they saw the heavy restrictions in the fog, they cautiously chose to stop. At this level, these ferocious beasts were no longer brainless wild beasts. There are sounds of fighting. It looks like there is more than one group of people. I wonder which group Lord Jiao Snake wants us to kill. The black demonic ape sent a voice projection. Since he did not say, then just kill them all. However, there is no rush. These sect disciples are rather strong. When they are almost done killing each other, we will attack. Right. After making up their minds, the ferocious beasts decided to watch from the sidelines, playing the mantis stalking the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. They were very smart. Oh no. Fei Er and Luonan will not be able to hold on for much longer. Xiao Qin, who was currently fighting the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy ferocious spirit, felt startled when he sensed the situation in the restriction. Unexpectedly, the situation had turned so bad. The bewildering formation had already been broken, and the two-layered killing formation showed signs of crumbling at any moment. The bewildering formation had already been broken. Under the attacks of the three, the two-layered killing formation showed signs of crumbling at any moment. However, Little Yellow Feather's sudden attack caught the other party off guard. Otherwise, the situation would have been even more unsightly. At this moment, Little Yellow Feather was very busy and could not afford to be distracted. The ferocious spirit rampaged in Xiao Chen's sea of consciousness, and the baleful Yin energy rampaged in his body, troubling him on both sides. If Xiao Chen ignored the baleful Yin energy, he could use his strong soul energy to kill this 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy remnant soul easily. However, he still had to worry about refining the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. It would be hard to avoid giving the ferocious spirit a chance to wreak havoc in his sea of consciousness. At this moment, Xiao Chen had two choices. He could give up on refining the baleful Yin energy and let it out of his body. He could focus on dealing with the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy and help Luonan and Fei Er. Or he could gamble, using his life as the stake, taking the risk and forcefully refining the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. When he advanced to the Yin essence stage, he could conveniently kill the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy's remnant soul. The former was stable and could preserve his life. However, he would lose the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. The latter was radical. Once he failed, the three would lose their lives here. Gambling or not gambling? Gamble. In the time it took for a spark to fly, Xiaochen quickly made up his mind. He had never been an indecisive person, someone who could not make up his mind when he should. After coming to the Great Thousand Realms, he wanted to stand out and not be satisfied with being mediocre. He wanted to fight with heaven, to fight with others, to fight with himself. With this thought, Xiaochen endured the torment of the ferocious spirit in his sea of consciousness. He focused on refining the baleful Yin energy, continuously circulating the veritable essence energy in his body. The Purple Thunder Divine Incantation's 10th layer circulated wildly at an unprecedented speed. Boom, boom, boom. Countless purple lightning bolts shot out from Xiaochen's body. His long hair fluttered in the wind. As Xiaochen circulated the Purple Thunder Divine Incantation to its limits, his skin turned purple. Sparks flickered all over his body. Crackle, crackle. The sparks crackled endlessly. Xiaochen's delicate face kept changing, looking ferocious and scary. That was the baleful Yin energy's remnant soul surging in his sea of consciousness, trying to occupy Xiaochen's sea of consciousness and body. In Xiaochen's meridians, the baleful Yin energy was like a wild horse that had broken free of its reins, obediently submitting. As the baleful Yin energy was continuously refined, the pure baleful Yin energy continued to be refined. Xiaochen felt that his bottleneck was already teetering on the verge of breaking through at any moment. The Yin essence energy that the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy turned into was like a berserk flood accumulating. As for Xiaochen's bottleneck, it was like a firm dam. Xiaochen endured the increasingly ferocious flood again and again. It looked like he was about to collapse, but he did not. The situation at the cave entrance in front no longer allowed any delay. One of the 2 layers of killing formations had already shattered, leaving only 1 layer. At this moment, Xiaochen wished that his accumulations were not so deep. Otherwise, the bottleneck would not be so hard to break through. Regular people could break through the bottleneck of the veritable essence stage with just Yin essence stones. Xiaochen's bottleneck was somewhat exaggerated. Only 1 layer of killing formations remains. Luo Nan, the 2 of you just surrender, and I can spare your lives. Fangyan did not rush, slowly grinding away at the 2. Now that victory was in his grasp, there was nothing to fear. As for Yi Bai, he should be absorbing the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. There was no need to rush this. Even if he had 3 days, Fang Yun did not believe that the other party could refine much of the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. Damn it. Junior sister, you should go. I'll take care of it. I'll repay what we owe Yi Bai alone. At this moment, Luo Nan's clothes were tattered, and blood leaked out of a corner of his lips. His complexion was pale, and the situation did not look good. It's too late. Now, none of you can leave. Wind. Suddenly, a strong wind burst out from Fang Yun's body. Then he threw a palm strike and detonated this boundless strong wind. Amid the intense explosion, the final layer of killing formations crumbled. Fei and Luo Nan both vomited blood and went flying back. However, the instant the killing formations broke, the smiles on the 4's faces froze at the same time like they had seen a ghost. Without the concealment of the killing formations, the scene of Xiaochen absorbing the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy was completely exposed to the 4. Berserk purple lightning, strong winds, a ferocious face, and a horrifying aura all came from Xiaochen's body. The 4 squinted, not daring to look directly at Xiaochen. That aura forced them to retreat continuously. He is refining the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy alone. Fang Yun and the other 3 all exclaimed. The Yi Bai before them was actually refining the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy alone, trying to use it to make a breakthrough. Kill. Quickly kill him. Otherwise, we will all die. Fang Yun revealed a horrified expression as he roared, and led the other 3 to charge at Xiaochen. Enduring the huge pressure, the 4 soared into the air and slowly approached Xiaochen. In the time it took for a spark to fly, Xiaochen suddenly opened his eyes. Boom! An explosive shock wave surged out from Xiaochen's body. The four, who were just one step away from reaching Xiaochen, were all knocked back. Aside from Feng Yin, the other three fell to the ground in sorry states, revealing pained expressions. Chapter 1575. Xiaochen slowly stood up, and the strong yin essence energy in his body spread out uncontrollably. The cave was suddenly filled with a chilly air. Mixed within this cold energy was Xiaochen's original Thunder True Essence power. Ice and Thunder True Essence fused together. A visible purple cold chi, carrying with it an irresistible pressure, pressed towards them. The veritable essence energy lake in Xiaochen's Dantian essence had already merged with the yin essence energy. The primordial yin energy refined from the 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy completely covered the quintessential energy. The cold yin energy filled Xiaochen's entire body. Since he had just entered the yin essence stage, the two had yet to completely fuse. Xiaochen would have to spend a lot of time to consume the yin primordial energy of this 10,000-year-old yin qi. 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy. As expected of a 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy. Right now, Xiaochen's cultivation had already reached the peak of the yin essence stage. 10,000-year baleful yin energy, you actually refined it all. Feng Yin had a look of extreme disbelief on his face. He already expected Yi Bai to be very strong, but he didn't expect Xiaochen to be this strong. Xiaochen swept his gaze over Feng Yin, a murderous intent flashing in his eyes. The next moment, his body appeared in front of Feng Yin, his fingers clenched into a fist. Kacha, kacha, kacha. The sound of ice shattering rang out in the space, accompanied by the crackling of lightning. Xiaochen's long hair and clothes trembled as he threw a simple punch. It was like a true dragon of thunder and lightning, with a body full of cold air, cold, cold, and violent. Bang! This punch was very destructive. It shattered the martial technique that Feng Yin sent out with his full power, leaving him unable to resist at all. The huge advantage brought by the powerful yin energy allowed Xiaochen to crush his opponent. He did not even need to use any martial skills. Just a light punch. Xiaochen had a pensive look on his face. After absorbing this 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy, his combat power had at least doubled. More importantly, the bottleneck had been broken, and his potential had increased by countless times. In the following days, the berserk yin essence energy in Xiaochen's body was slowly digested and refined. His strength would advance by leaps and bounds. Feng Yun's right hand was sent flying, and he coughed up a mouthful of blood. Run! The group did not dare to stay any longer. They got up, turned around and ran. What 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy! What fortuitous encounter! Fear spread throughout his body. Escaping was the most important thing. All of them ran for their lives at the same time. Xiaochen couldn't chase after them one by one, but there was one person he had to catch. Sure of the Lotus sect, Feng Yun. Xiaochen pushed his feet off the ground and tried out some of the footwork that he learned from the ink flame tiger while executing his movement technique. When Xiaochen's body shot out, a faint layer of flame appeared on the surface of his body. It was because his speed was too fast, and the friction between his protective Zhenyuan and the air caused it to burn. At this moment, he finally understood why the ink flame tiger's body was always burning with a black flame. It was just a slight attempt, but Xiaochen's speed was so fast that it was impossible to see with the naked eye. When he reached Feng Yun's side, the latter was only halfway through getting up from the ground. Pussy eye. Xiaochen stretched out his hand, grabbed Feng Yun's neck, and lifted him up. Only now did the others get up and flee. They were so frightened that they stumbled and nearly fell again. Right now, Xiaochen focused all his attention on Feng Yun, not caring about the others. He urgently needed information about the Black Lotus Church. Speak. Do you know my identity? Xiaochen looked at Feng Yun coldly, his gaze icy like that of a Grim Reaper. An intense feeling of suffocation accompanied by fear completely shattered Feng Yun's mental defenses. He spilled everything he knew without missing a beat. After hearing that, Xiaochen heaved a sigh of relief in his heart. The Black Lotus Church still did not know where he was. It seemed like the Black Lotus Church did not want to rely on an outsider to deal with him. No matter what the deeper meaning was, this was good news for Xiaochen. Xiaochen needed time. As long as he had enough time, he would trample on the Black Lotus Church sooner or later. I already told you everything. Can you let me live? Feng Yin begged. Xiaochen retorted indifferently. You are shameless. When you instigated Wei He's group to kill me, you already knew that this would happen. Naturally, Xiaochen could not let off such a person. Berserk veritable essence energy mixed with Yin essence energy, and poured into Feng Yun's meridians. Instantly, it shattered all of Feng Yun's meridians and internal organs, extinguishing his life force. When Xiaochen let go, Feng Yun silently fell to the ground, dead. Big brother Xiaochen. Luonan and Fei Er walked over in fear and shock. As they looked at Xiaochen, their eyes revealed some fear. After interacting with him for so long, this was the first time they saw Xiaochen's cold side. I owe you two a favor. There is no need to say anything else. This place is not safe. Let's go first. Xiaochen had always been cautious. He did not become arrogant just because he entered the Yin essence stage and absorbed the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. There were still many unanswered questions in this place. Furthermore, for some reason, Xiaochen felt like someone was watching him from the moment he entered this place. His intuition told him that this place was not safe. Just as the three were about to leave, startled screams suddenly rang out in front. Those were the horrified voices of Feng Yun and the other two. What's going on? Luonan and Fei Er felt confused. In the next moment, Feng Yun and the other two, who had already fled, retreated in a fluster. Before Lu Mu and Tuoba Yun could stand firmly, two ferocious beasts bit them into their mouths and started chewing on them. The clear feather sex Feng Yun fell to the ground in fright, retreating continuously. The black demonic ape, the two-headed ferocious dog, and the blue lion appeared, radiating strong auras as they looked coldly at Xiaochen. Ferocious beasts that just advanced to the primal core realm. Fei Er's and Luonan's expressions changed drastically. No wonder Feng Yun and the other two looked like they had seen ghosts. To think that there were three such horrifying ferocious beasts guarding this place. It looks like you are the person that Lord Jiao's snake instructed us to deal with. The black demonic ape did not even look at Feng Yun, staring straight at Xiaochen. Upon seeing the three ferocious beasts, Xiaochen's anxious heart calmed down. If the strongest existences here were just early-stage primal core realm ferocious beasts, then there would be nothing to fear. At the very least, leaving would not be a problem. As Xiaochen stood in front of Luonan and Fei Er, he looked at the three ferocious beasts without fear. Then he slowly unleashed his aura, which contained Dao Might. Facing three ferocious beasts alone, he did not retreat at all. At this moment, Xiaochen was confident of facing these three ferocious beasts. No matter how strong the black demonic ape was, it was just an early-stage primal core realm ferocious beast. Compared to a middle-stage minor primal core expert like the blue-clad old man, the black demonic ape was far from comparable. As for that two-headed ferocious dog and the blue lion, they were merely on the same level as the ink flame tiger. When Xiaochen was in the veritable essence stage, he did not fear the ink flame tiger, much less now. Wielding his saber, Xiaochen stood upright with his head held high, not fearing a fight. Before Xiaochen's sharpness, the two-headed ferocious dog and the blue lion trembled and took a step back. Only the black demonic ape did not retreat. However, when facing such sharpness, its originally relaxed heart tensed up. Simply put, the black demonic ape was afraid. Ferocious beasts that could survive until now and reach such a cultivation were extremely precious, so they were not willing to take the risk. However, just at this moment, something strange happened. The entire underground suddenly shook intensely. No matter who it was, they all felt an irresistible chill. Trash. All of you are trash. What is the point of keeping you around? A strange, deep, hoarse voice rang out in everyone's ears. The three ferocious beasts were immediately frightened into kneeling on the ground, trembling continuously. Whoosh! Suddenly, a strong suction came from the entrance of the cave. This was an irresistible suction. No one, not even Xiaochen, could block it. Fear stiffened their bodies, and they flew forward uncontrollably. Kasie, Kasie. The three ferocious beasts and Feng Yin flew out of the cave, and were instantly swept away. When the suction vanished, Xiao Chen's group of three stopped at the same time. A swallowing sound rang out, and a gargantuan snake head suddenly landed on the ground, blocking the three. The snake head had scarlet eyes as it looked down at the three from above, making them tremble involuntarily. Xiao Chen was immediately struck by lightning. So, this is the little snake that little Yellow Feather mentioned. How small two half-step primal core ferocious beasts, an early-stage primal core demonic ape, and a little snack. Without waiting for a breather, the three directly swallowed them, not even leaving scraps behind. Chapter 1576. Xiao Chen's group of three stuck close to the cave entrance, and looked at the gargantuan Jiao snake's head. They did not dare to move, not even daring to breathe loudly. The Jiao snake's head was like a small mountain blocking the cave entrance. Its scarlet eyes looked down at Xiao Chen from above. The Jiao snake brought with it an extremely strong pressure, making breathing difficult. Xiao Chen was still fine. However, Luo Nan and Fei are already flushed red, feeling the pressure on their qi and blood. If they continued like this, it would be hard to say whether they would explode in blood and die. At this moment, Xiao Chen even felt like eating little Yellow Feather. If Xiao Chen had known that the one guarding this 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy would be such a Jiao snake, he would not have taken such a risk. The Jiao snake before Xiao Chen could give off such strong pressure was not because of its huge size. Instead, it was because it was too strong. Xiao Chen estimated that this Jiao snake was already a late-stage major primal core cultivator. Its cultivation was infinitely close to the Cloud Sea realm, and its strength was extremely horrifying. Cloud Sea realm experts could calmly cultivate their soul energy. Wherever they went, they would be considered experts. In the nearby Great Realms, Cloud Sea realm experts were the peak experts. A great realm would not have more than 3 Cloud Sea realm experts. Even in the entire Purple Sun region, there would not be many Cloud Sea realm experts. However, this Jiao snake before Xiao Chen was in existence equal to a Cloud Sea realm expert. It went without saying how strong he was. Not to mention Xiao Chen. Even the middle-stage minor primal core blue-clad old man would be like an ant before it, easily crushed. An opponent on a completely different level would not be able to resist at all. However, to everyone's surprise, the Jiao snake seemed to have some reservations, and did not immediately make a move to kill Xiao Chen's group. The Jiao snake glanced at little Yellow Feather, and rage immediately blazed in its heart. It was this little bird. The golden crow holy beast. The Jiao snake in profound Yin Mountain had been the spirit pet of a major character long ago. That major character had moved unhindered in the starry heavens. A character who could leave his name in the history books of the entire martial epoch. As the spirit pet of such a major character, the Jiao snake's eyes naturally would not be bad. When little Yellow Feather came over, it immediately recognized the identity of the golden crow mythological beast, which was an extinct mythological beast. Even the golden crow race, which was the strongest of the great desolate 100 races, did not have a pure-blooded golden crow. The Jiao snake immediately turned small and chatted with it. When it learned that the Jiao snake would not consume 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy, it relaxed. He wanted to build a relationship with her. Back then, they had agreed on a good deal. Who knew that he would change his mind in the blink of an eye, and bring a group of people over? This was terrible. Snakes were of the Yin attribute, and 10,000-year-old Yin baleful energy was a rare tonic for Jiao snakes. The Jiao snake guarded this place because it wanted to wait another 1,000 years. When the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy matured, it could directly consume it and advance to the Cloud Sea realm. Who knew that the people brought by little Yellow Feather were even more difficult to deal with? It had great eyesight, and could tell that Xiao Chen's bloodline was extraordinary at first glance. It vaguely felt that Xiao Chen must have the bloodline of the primitive 100 races. However, after observing for a long time, the Jiao snake could not figure out which great desolate Yin bloodline it was. This was because the blue dragon bloodline had been removed from the dragon race for too long. Furthermore, Xiao Chen wore the Buddhist jade pendant, which suppressed the aura of his bloodline. Hence, the Jiao snake could not make an accurate judgment. However, no matter what, Xiao Chen's bloodline would not be weaker than that of the great desolate 100 races. Such a character would definitely be backed by a powerful figure and a powerful force, no matter where he fell. No matter where he fell, the seniors behind him would quickly find out. At that time, the Jiao snake would not be able to escape responsibility and would definitely die. In its early years, the Jiao snake had seen many things and was very clear on the means of those major characters. They were not things that it could contend with. Fearing little yellow feathers and Xiao Chen's identities, the Jiao snake could only watch as Xiao Chen entered this place. Originally, the Jiao snake wanted to find some scapegoats to get the ferocious beasts of profound Yin Mountain to come over. Who could have imagined that this group of ferocious beasts would not come even after so long? By the time the Jiao snake arrived, Xiao Chen had already completely refined the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy, not even leaving a speck of it. What was the use of it? What was even more frustrating was that even though it was 3 against 1, the Jiao snake still cowered and did not dare to step forward. The Jiao snake raged but had nowhere to vent it, so it could only target these 3 ferocious beasts. At this moment, the Jiao snake stared at Xiao Chen's group and little yellow feather, who was hiding at the back. The Jiao snake's scarlet eyes flickered with a faint light. A sinister killing chi spread out, numbing everyone's legs and deterring them from doing anything overboard. The Jiao snake hesitated, wondering if it should go all out and directly swallow up this group of people, and that golden crow holy beast. However, when the Jiao snake thought about the terrifying consequences, it trembled in fear. Scram! In the end, between life and rage, the Jiao snake chose the former and roared. A berserk roar rang out in the minds of Xiao Chen's group of 3. The shock caused them to vomit a mouthful of blood, and their bodies flew back uncontrollably. A strong wind howled by their ears, and rocks fell continuously from the sky above. Xiao Chen was the first to land. He stabilized himself and caught Luo Nan and Fei, before taking another step back. "Are you alright?" Xiao Chen asked. After the 2 landed, they panted continuously. After resting for a long time, their complexions slowly recovered to normal. Luo Nan said with lingering fear in his heart, "What a terrifying Jiao snake. It is much stronger than our sect master. Why did it appear here?" Fei whispered, "Let's leave quickly. Who knows when that Jiao snake will go back on its word." That Jiao snake frightened the 2 too much. Now that they had a new lease on life, their bodies were still trembling slightly. Xiao Chen looked around. There were many top-quality Yin essence stones near the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. Yin essence stones were also divided into different grades. The ones near the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy were clearly the best. It would be too much of a pity to waste so many top-quality Yin essence stones. "You guys go first. I'll catch up soon." "Big brother Xiao Chen, you should leave with us," Fei said somewhat worriedly. Xiao Chen shook his head to indicate that he was fine. He vaguely felt that the Jiao snake did not dare to fight the 3 of them. It seemed like it had some reservations. If it had attacked, it would not have survived until now. Now that he understood, Xiao Chen's worried heart calmed down. The 2 could not go around Xiao Chen. In the end, they left first and waited for Xiao Chen to regroup. Without any delay, Xiao Chen stayed behind and quickly mined the nearby Yin essence stones. Soon, Xiao Chen finished mining more than 10,000 Yin essence stones. The cold chi in the cave vanished, and the air became much drier. The value of Yin essence stones was rather special. Cultivators with higher cultivations would not even bother to look at them. However, sects would purchase treasures like Yin essence stones in large quantities all year round to nurture their disciples. Some alchemists and blacksmiths also had special needs for Yin essence stones. Xiao Chen had such a large number of top-notch Yin essence stones in his hands, so he did not have to worry about not being able to sell them. When everything was packed and Xiao Chen stepped out of the cave, he felt as if he was being stared at by a pair of eyes. Could it be that the Jiao snake hasn't left yet? Xiao Chen was deep in thought. He was in no hurry to move forward. "Young man, you are really greedy." The Jiao snake suddenly appeared from the river, revealing half of its body as it looked down at Xiao Chen. Just half of the Jiao snake's body was already several hundred meters tall, like a mountain. Xiaochen did not panic. He cupped his hands and said, "Thank you, senior. If we are fated to meet again in the future, I will definitely repay this favor." Xiaochen's ability to absorb 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy and obtain such a fortuitous encounter was entirely due to the help of the Jiao snake. There was no falsehood at all. Humph. If it wasn't for the fact that I followed Lord Pan Huang in my early years and my fierceness had diminished greatly, I would have been killed by him. It really won't care about the great desolate Yin bloodline in your body. You're on your own. Not every ferocious beast has my good temper. Clearly the Jiao snake was still in a bad mood. Even though Xiaochen's words were polite, it did not give Xiaochen much face. Lord Pan Huang. Xiaochen's heart skipped a beat. As he looked at the other party, he revealed a suspicious expression. The Pan Huang you speak of, is he a bladesman who uses a saber? The Spring Snow Bladesman and the Kunlun Realms Pan Huang. Could there be a second Pan Huang in the Great Thousand Realms? Chapter 1577. Xiaochen was stunned for a moment. He only reacted after a long time. This was too much of a coincidence. To think that he could run into Pan Huang's former spirit pet here. What's wrong? You have not heard of my master's name before? That should not be the case. Few people in the boundless Great Thousand Realms, even in the core Central Great Realm, do not know about the Spring Snow Bladesman. Spring Snow Bladesman? Good name. Xiaochen immediately understood the meaning of these words. When Xiaochen first met Pan Huang in Pan Huang Hall, the thing that left the deepest impression on him was Pan Huang's smile. Spring snow probably meant that Pan Huang's smile was like the warm wind of early spring, able to melt the last snowflakes of winter. For a cultivator to be given a title, it would undoubtedly be a very tyrannical title. Xiaochen rarely heard of a title like Spring Snow. It could only be said that Pan Huang's smile left a very deep impression. Xiaochen did not say anything, only taking out the Saber Sovereign medallion. The atmosphere changed visibly. The Jiao snake exclaimed in shock. "What is this? It has Pan Huang's aura on it." "It looks like I was right." Xiaochen honestly explained his fortuitous encounter with Pan Huang. "Ha ha ha. The matters of this world are really coincidental. Since you received Pan Huang's inheritance, you can be considered half a disciple of Pan Huang. In that case, I will give you this 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy without a word of complaint." After the Jiao snake heard that, it was in a great mood, sweeping away all its depression. Xiaochen asked, "Is Senior Pan Huang still around?" "I'm not sure. Pan Huang's master has a carefree nature and is very open to everything. He likes to roam the world. Back then I was too severely injured. After Pan Huang extended my life, he let me go. Why? After I recovered, my cultivation fell too much. Furthermore, Master had too many enemies. Clearly, I was no longer suitable to follow Master. Master took pity on me, so he removed the contract and let me go." At the mention of Pan Huang, the Jiao snake felt somewhat sad. Its thoughts drifted to the time it followed Pan Huang. Clearly, the Jiao snake had a very deep relationship with Pan Huang back then. Xiaochen suddenly understood. No wonder he felt that this Jiao snake was extraordinary when he first saw it, giving off a strong aura. Back then, it wasn't just a great origin core realm. Although his cultivation was not as high as before, his aura was still there. With a thought, Xiaochen looked at the Jiao snake and asked, "Senior Jiao snake, what are your plans now?" The Jiao snake smiled and said, "What plans can I have? I definitely cannot remain in this profound Yin mountain. I should roam around and see if I can run into some fortuitous encounters to break through to the Cloud Sea realm." "Is the Cloud Sea realm that hard to break through?" Of course, one can cultivate soul energy in the Cloud Sea realm. You need some spiritual light to illuminate the sea of consciousness. If the divine light didn't appear, everything would be in vain. I'm still in a good state. I just need to come across a suitable opportunity. Xiaochen entered deep thought. After some consideration, he said, "Senior Jiao snake, there will probably be some trouble in the second half of the month. At that time, I would like to ask for your help. In the future, after I become the Dragon Emperor, I will definitely repay this kindness. The Jiao snake's eyes narrowed. Dragon Emperor? Could it be that your bloodline is the dragon race's bloodline? That's not right. The dragon race has a total of 6 bloodlines. The white dragon, black dragon, red dragon, blue dragon, golden dragon, and green dragon. I have seen every single one of them. I am of the blue dragon bloodline, Xiaochen answered honestly. The Jiao snake exclaimed in shock. The blue dragon bloodline. So that is the case. I was wondering why your great desolate Ian bloodline was so familiar, but I could not recall it. It turns out that it is the long-extinct blue dragon bloodline. Xiaochen nodded. Then he looked at the other party and asked, Senior, what do you think? It's fine. It doesn't matter what bloodline you have, what identity you have, or what background you have. Just based on the fact that you are half a disciple of Pan Huang, I will definitely help you with this. The Jiao snake appeared exceptionally straightforward. It did not ask Xiaochen what the trouble was or ask for any other details. The Jiao snake immediately agreed, making Xiaochen feel very touched. Just cultivate properly first. Right now, the baleful Yin energy is leaking out of your body uncontrollably. Not to mention the waste. If others discover the signs, they might not let you leave. Xiaochen indicated that he understood. There were many methods in this world. Even if one absorbed 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy, like them, they can get it out of your system. Following that, Xiaochen told the Jiao snake about the trouble he encountered in detail. The Jiao snake smiled and said, I was wondering what it was. It turns out that it is just such a small matter. Don't worry. I will help you with this. I will go to Profound Yin Mountain first, and take a look around before leaving. Many thanks. After leaving the underground river, Xiaochen saw Luo Nan and Xiao Fei, who had been waiting for a long time already. Both of them appeared somewhat anxious. After Fei saw Xiaochen, she revealed a smile. Big brother Xiaochen, you finally came out. If you still did not come out, senior brother and I would really have to go down and look for you. It's fine. I just spent some time collecting the Yin essence stones. There is still half a month. There is no need for us to go anywhere. Let's just stay here and stabilize our cultivation properly. Xiaochen entered deep thought. Right, that suits me. Since Luo Nan and Fei already gained something, they were not willing to take any more risks. A complete 1,000-year-old baleful Yin energy was sufficient for them to cultivate the entire Yin essence stage. The vast Yin essence energy that the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy brought far surpassed Xiaochen's expectations. Right now, baleful Yin energy leaked out of Xiaochen's entire body. It was as the Jiao snake said. It was a great waste. The veritable essence energy and Yin essence energy in Xiaochen's dantian mixed together and merged. Xiaochen found it strange that the veritable essence energy was clearly much weaker. However, when the two merged, the veritable essence energy was the main one. The appearance of the Yin essence energy merely strengthened the veritable essence energy, perfecting it. If Xiaochen guessed right, it should be the same when he advanced to the Yang essence stage in the future. Yin essence energy and Yang essence energy were used to supplement and strengthen veritable essence energy. Cultivators still focused on veritable essence energy. At this moment, the Yin essence energy of the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy had yet to merge with Xiaochen's veritable essence energy, just a simple mixture. What Xiaochen needed to do now was to slowly infuse this vast Yin essence energy into his veritable essence energy, slowly merging it. When the Yin essence energy completely merged, he would have cultivated to the peak of the Yin essence stage. Half a month passed peacefully. When Xiaochen opened his eyes again, the sharpness in them was much more withdrawn. His body no longer leaked any Yin essence energy. It was no longer as exaggerated and horrifying as when he first advanced to the Yin essence stage. Luo Nan and Fei opened their eyes one after another, giving off the impression that their eyes had lit up. It looked like the two had gained a lot in just half a month. Fei smiled and said, Master definitely did not expect us to improve so much. He will definitely be very happy. Luo Nan smiled embarrassedly and did not say anything. He and Fei were still in a cold war. Back then, Luo Nan did not know what got into him, saying those words and making his junior sister so unhappy. However, it did not matter. It was fine as long as his junior sister was happy now. Let's go. It's time to leave. 1 month had already passed. The surviving sect disciples in the inner region of Profound Een Island all rushed back. Near the transportation formation. When the sun set, the old man by the transportation formation stopped waiting. By this time, those who had not returned had probably died in the inner region of Profound Een Island. To think that the Clear Feather sects Fong Yun and the Flying Snow Palace's Lu Mu did not appear. Could they be dead? This is incredible. The absence of Lu Mu and the others stirred up a commotion in the crowd. Luonan and Fei felt somewhat nervous. However, Xiaochen appeared calm and unruffled. After a while, the group was sent to the edge of Profound Een Island. Then they all flew into the sky to meet up with their sections. The blue-clad old man and the half-step primal core realm expert had been waiting on the Tianyi sect's ship for a long time already. When the two saw Xiaochen and the other two flying over, they revealed expressions of joy. The blue-clad old man's eyelids twitched slightly. He had waited too long for this day. Ha 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 ha. Brother Xiaochen, this old man knew that you would definitely bring them back safely. The blue-clad old man said with a smile as he strode forward. Ha 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 ha. Brother Fei and Luonan handed over their Een Essence stones. Fei and Luonan handed over their Een Essence stones. This is a superior grade Een Essence stone. Fei Luonan, you ran into 1,000-year-old baleful Een energy. The blue-clad old man said as he looked at the two in shock. Fei nodded and smiled. Right. Big brother Xiaochen helped me and senior brother each find a strand of baleful Een energy. What? This time, the blue-clad old man and the half-step primal core realm old man were even more shocked. As they looked at Xiaochen, their eyes filled with complicated emotions. If they had not found out that the Black Lotus Church had placed a bounty on Xiaochen's head, perhaps they could have let Xiaochen off. For these 2 strands of 1,000-year-old baleful Een energy, the Tianyi sect would have to thank Xiaochen properly. Xiaochen looked at the blue-clad old man and said, "These are my Een Essence stones. Seniors, please keep them well. I'll take my leave first." The blue-clad old man carefully put away the Een Essence stones that Xiaochen handed over. However, he did not seem to care. He smiled and said, "Young hero Xiaochen, I really do not know how to repay this great favor. How about we return to the Tianyi sect together? At that time, I'll get the sect master to entertain us properly." Xiaochen looked around and discovered that the Tianyi sect disciples on the fortress ship had already surrounded him without him realizing it, blocking his way out. That half-step primal core realm old man already placed his right hand on his sword hilt, storing up killing intent. Xiaochen's expression changed slightly in surprise. After the other party learned that he helped Fei and Luonan refine a strand of baleful Een energy, they still wanted to make a move on him, killing the donkey after it has outlived its usefulness. Chapter 1578. Xiaochen repaid his kindness, only to receive such an ending. This was indeed somewhat disappointing. However, Xiaochen had seen all sorts of people in his life, so his mental state did not fluctuate too much. Revealing a smile, Xiaochen raised his head to look at the blue-clad old man and said, "Senior, are you planning to force me to stay?" Fei still did not know what was going on. She smiled and said, "Big brother Xiaochen, how about you go over? Our sect master is pretty nice." Luonan felt that something was not quite right. His expression changed in astonishment. "Brother Xiaochen, you should leave quickly. The situation is not right. My junior brothers are standing in the Tianyi sect's 9 sectors formation. Compared to Fei's naivety and kindness, Luonan would sometimes act foolishly because of her. However, Luonan was usually more observant. Although Luonan did not know what was going on, he immediately sent a voice projection to warn Xiaochen after discovering that something was wrong. "Many thanks." Xiaochen immediately felt gratified in his heart. The older the ginger, the spicier it was. However, only the young would not care so much about the pros and cons. "Master, martial uncle, since brother Xiaochen is not willing to stay, then never mind. I'll go and send him off." Luo Nan said with a smile as he squeezed between the blue-clad old man and Xiao Chun. Luo Nan said with a smile as he squeezed in between the blue-clad old man and Xiao Chun. Scram to the side. It is not your place to speak. The half-step primal core realm old man did not stand on ceremony, directly smacking Luo Nan to the side with a palm strike. The half-step primal core realm old man did not stand on ceremony, directly smacking Luo Nan to the side. The force was so great that a strong wind suddenly rose on the deck, whistling loudly. Senior brother, are you all right? Fei felt startled. She ran over worriedly and helped Luo Nan up. Fei turned her head and frowned. Martial uncle, why did you hit him so heavily? Fei turned her head and frowned. Martial uncle, why did you hit him so heavily? The blue-clad old man and the half-step primal core realm old man did not even turn their heads. However, the blue-clad old man said coldly, Luo Nan, watch your junior sister properly. Don't be a busybody. The atmosphere of the place instantly turned cold, as a murderous aura spread out. The 9 people behind him gripped their sword hilts at the same time, their killing intent firmly locked onto Xiao Chun. Senior brother, what is Master trying to do? Fei asked, puzzled. It looks like he's going to make a move on Xiao Chun. Why? Luo Nan smiled bitterly and said, who knows? It is probably just some benefits. Actually, it is easy to understand just by thinking about it. How could Master be so kind as to tell Xiao Chun the location of Profoundine Island? He must have planned all of this beforehand. Luo Nan felt somewhat bitter in his heart. His martial uncle's palm strike was really merciless. It even broke his bones. The blue-clad old man looked at Xiao Chun and said indifferently, Xiao Chun, you have to stay today even if you don't want to. It's not up to you. Xiao Chun sneered. I, Xiao Chun, have never seen a shameless person like you in my life. On account of Luo Nan and Fei I'll give you one last chance. Just obediently let me go, and nothing will happen. Otherwise, you will bear the consequences. When the blue-clad old man heard that, he guffawed. Is that so? I have never seen a youth as arrogant as you before. Let me ask you this. What right do you have to make me bear the consequences? As the blue-clad old man laughed maniacally, his aura burst forth. The aura of a minor primal core venerate pressed down on Xiao Chun. The advantage of cultivation allowed his aura to look down on everyone present. Everyone felt a faint pressure, and they did not dare to resist it. The blue-clad old man looked like a king, unstoppable. Xiao Chun, don't think that we do not know your background. We are spies in the Lotus Sect Temple. Our spies in the Lotus Sect Temple inadvertently learned that you are wanted by the Black Lotus Church. Now that the Black Lotus Church is after you, you are a street rat. To think that you still dare to be so arrogant. You must be tired of living. The half-step primal core venerate old man beside the blue-clad old man spoke maliciously as he glared at Xiao Chun. The old man was extremely dissatisfied with Xiao Chun's fearlessness and arrogance. Xiao Chun narrowed his eyes and said sullenly, so, that is the case. I was wondering what was going on. Why did the two of you become so bold all of a sudden? Xiao Chun, you are not allowed to be disrespectful to my master. Just at this moment, Fei suddenly shouted at Xiao Chun with a stern expression. Before Xiao Chun could react, he saw Fei soar into the air and thrust her sword at Xiao Chun. This sword strike was strangely fast, and it was very sudden. Xiao Chun's timing was pretty good. However, there was no killing chi at all, just a straightforward attack. However, the sword move was extremely chaotic, lacking any sharpness. Aside from speed, there was no other threat. Xiao Chun moved back slightly. Then he flicked his finger and knocked Fei's sword out of her hand. Big brother Xiao Chun, just hold me hostage and leave. Master has always been very good to me. He will not make a move on me. In the time it took for a spark to fly, Xiao Chun could not make a choice. He could only grab Fei's neck with one hand. Junior sister. Luo Nan cried out in fear. His complexion paled somewhat as he felt a strange heartache. Fei, you don't have to do this. I can leave as well. I know. From the first time I saw Big Brother Xiao Chun, I knew that Big Brother Xiao Chun would never boast. I'm just worried about Master and Martial Uncle. How about this? Junior sister, don't cry. It's fine as long as you are fine. Senior brother knows that you like heroes. However, I really can't do it. I've always been very, very weak. Senior brother, don't say anything. I don't know anything anymore. Don't say anything. Fei hugged Luonan tightly as if she could save him by doing so. No, there are some things that I need to say. Otherwise, I might not get another chance in this lifetime. I like you. I liked you from the first time I saw you. Back then, I did not really make Junior sister angry. I just felt that I was not worthy of Junior sister. Blood leaked out of Luonan's mouth continuously. However, he showed a smile on his face. This was his first time being so close to his junior sister. He was so close that he could hear her heartbeat, feel her warmth, and understand her worries. Perhaps that was enough. Xiao Chen's expression turned scarily cold. He raised his head to look at the stunned blue-clad old man and said coldly, "Sometimes people really shouldn't be too kind, especially when facing beasts like you, who are even worse than dogs or pigs. You bastard! You are not qualified to scold me. Everything happened because of you. I'll kill you." The blue-clad old man roared somewhat crazily. "It's all because of you." Whoosh! However, just at this moment, a horrifying aura flew over. Before the 9 Tianyi sect disciples on the ship could react, a huge force pulled their bodies out. The Jiao snake opened its mouth and gulped, easily swallowing the 9 people. Then it leaped onto the ship. A late-stage major primal core ferocious beast. You are a beast tamer. A huge shadow immediately encased the blue-clad old man, and the half-step primal core realm old man. Sorry I came too late. Profoundine Mountain is too big, so I was delayed for half a day. It's fine. You are not too late. Xiao Chun said expressionlessly. The Jiao snake roared and swung its tail. The blue-clad old man and the half-step primal core realm old man could not block at all. Pussy. The blue-clad old man vomited a large mouthful of blood and knelt on the ground. This was especially so for the half-step primal core realm old man. With this strike he directly fell to the ground, his limbs and bones suffering from a huge impact. Chapter 1579. Whoosh! The Jiao snake opened its mouth, and the half-step primal core realm old man, who could not move in the first place, got sucked into its mouth. The sound of swallowing rang out as the Jiao snake directly swallowed the old man. Such a huge difference in strength was not something that could be made up for with skill or experience. Before the Jiao snake, the old man had no chance at all. Xiao Chun stretched out his hand and stopped the Jiao snake, which was preparing to attack the blue-clad old man. Brother Xiao Chun, don't kill me. I can agree to anything. I'll give you this ship and all the spirit jades on me. When the blue-clad old man saw this scene, he thought that he had a chance to live, so he immediately begged Xiao Chun for mercy. Xiao Chun revealed a disgusted expression as he said indifferently, "Fei did not let me hold you hostage to help me but to beg me to spare your life. Unfortunately, you old thing, you do not treasure it at all. Is there any use in begging now?" What? When the blue-clad old man heard that, he looked at Fei in disbelief. Who could have imagined that Fei would not even look at him, only hugging Luonan tightly? "Young hero Xiao Chun, please spare my life. I will definitely turn over a new leaf and become a new person. Just take it as giving Fei some face. Fei help master and say a few words." The blue-clad old man was in a sorry state. He only wanted to live, so shameless that it made others want to vomit. "Do it then," Xiao Chun said coldly. The Jiao snake roared and launched itself at the blue-clad old man. Whoosh! The blue-clad old man knew that he was no match for the Jiao snake. After he stood up, he fled in a panic. The Jiao snake turned into a flash of black light and quickly followed. 1 man and 1 snake entered the starry heavens. Xiao Chun did not continue watching. It was just a matter of time before the Jiao snake caught up to the blue-clad old man. "Big brother Xiao Chun, please save my senior brother. Please save him." Fei was already covered in tears. When she saw Xiao Chun walk over, she quickly said, "You definitely have a way, right? You definitely have a way." Xiao Chun remained silent, not daring to answer. He only said softly, "Let me take a look." "Yes. Senior brother, don't fall asleep. Big brother Xiaochen will definitely save you. After a simple inspection of Luo Nan's injuries, Xiaochen frowned heavily. Actually, there was no need to check. Just by looking at the life essence that Luo Nan's body slowly gave off and his increasingly pale complexion, Xiaochen knew that he was on the verge of death. Xiaochen had seen too many parting by death in his life. During the Kunlun demonic calamity, Xiaochen would never forget the scenes of the Kunlun geniuses dying one by one. However, when looking at Luo Nan's current appearance, Xiaochen still found it hard to remain calm. That blue-clad old man was truly ruthless. Xiaochen showed no mercy at all. He had used his full power as a minor primal core realm cultivator to kill Fei back then. Big brother Xiaochen, how is it? Fei looked at Xiaochen in anticipation. Xiaochen shook his head, indicating that there was nothing he could do. His 5 viscera and 6 bowels were all shattered, especially his heart. However, this was not a problem. At this cultivation realm, the heart was no longer a vital point. The most important thing was that the blue-clad old man's palm strike had destroyed Luo Nan's Dantian. This had already destroyed a cultivator's foundation, causing the physical body to lose its ability to recover. Unless there was a supreme method to help Luo Nan reconstruct his Dantian. Senior brother. When Fei heard that, she revealed a sorrowful expression and cried in pain. Luo Nan squeezed out a smile, wanting to console Fei. However, he found that he could not raise his hands. Fei quickly grabbed his hands and placed them on her cheeks. Xiaochen entered deep thought. Then he took out a medicinal pill from when he left the Blue Dragon Palace. This was one of the treasures that the item spirits left for him, the Blood Cloud pill. No matter how severe the injuries were, it could heal them. However, it could not help Luo Nan reconstruct his Dantian. It could only treat the symptoms and not the root cause. It could only preserve Luo Nan's life for now, unable to truly save him. Even so, Xiaochen did not hesitate to let Luo Nan consume this precious Blood Cloud pill. This is the Blood Cloud pill. It can temporarily stabilize his injuries. When Senior Jiao Snake returns, I will think of a way with him. After consoling Fei, Xiaochen left silently. Soon, the Jiao Snake's gargantuan body reappeared before Xiaochen. I already killed him. Xiaochen, what happened over there? The Jiao Snake asked in a whisper as it looked at Fei and Luo Nan, giving a simple explanation. Xiaochen gave a rough account of what happened earlier. Sorry, I really came too late. I went to find the profound Yin fruit for you, wanting to help you refine the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy as quickly as possible. Had I known, I would not have let that old thing die so easily. He is truly heartless. After the Jiao Snake heard that, it felt both rage and regret. Xiaochen thanked the Jiao Snake softly. Then he asked, Senior, do you know if there are any natural treasures or medicinal pills in the Great Thousand Realms that can reconstruct the Dantian? I already used the Blood Cloud pill to stabilize his injuries. It should be able to delay for some time. Blood Cloud pill? That is a holy pill of the dragon race. Even among holy pills, it is at the peak. At the crucial moment, it is equivalent to having an extra life. You are really willing to part with it. After the Jiao Snake heard that, it felt greatly shocked. Xiaochen smiled bitterly and said, What's the point? His internal organs are all damaged from the inside out. The damage to his meridians is severe as well. His physical body's foundation is already damaged, and his Dantian is destroyed. Even the Blood Cloud pill cannot save him. We need to find a medicinal pill or natural treasure that can reconstruct the Dantian. The Jiao Snake thought for a while. After a while, it said, There are definitely medicinal pills that can reconstruct the Dantian in the Great Thousand Realms. I followed Pan Huang when I was young and saw some. However, I do not know how long the Blood Cloud pill can help him last. 1 month should be fine. In that case, bring him to Purple Sun City. That is the center of the Purple Sun region. There is the largest auction house and the largest market in the Purple Sun region. There is no lack of talented alchemists there. The experts of the other astral regions also come there. Purple Sun City, Xiaochen thought to himself twice. The next destination should be Purple Sun City, right? Since it was the center of the Purple Sun Great Realm, there should be a lot of information there. He should be able to find out something about Ancestor Dragon City and the dragon race. Whoosh! The Jiao snake opened its mouth and spat out an azure-colored spirit fruit. A faint layer of frost covered the surface of the spirit fruit, exuding a cold chi. This is the profound Yin fruit. I specially found it for you. I fought with an old turtle for this profound Yin fruit, delaying me. Many thanks, Senior. After Xiaochen received it, he immediately felt that this profound Yin fruit was very valuable. The most important thing was that it could help him quickly refine the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. There is no need to be so polite with me. Since I have nothing to do, I'll send you off. Purple Sun City has a lot of people. I'm afraid that you will be at a disadvantage when you go there. That would be great. The Jiao snake's figure continuously shrank, turning into a small snake and entering the ship's hold. Xiaochen turned his head back and glanced at Luonan and Fei who were still leaning on each other. Then he sighed softly and returned to the ship's hold. Purple Sun City was a long journey. This ship happened to be ownerless, so it was best to use it as a means of transportation. Inside the ship's hold, Xiaochen continued chatting with the Jiao snake. He still had many questions to ask the Jiao snake. Since he had just arrived in the Great Thousand Realms, he could gain a lot of experience with a veteran around. Time slowly passed. The ship quickly flew towards Purple Sun City in the starry heavens. Purple Sun City was in the Purple Sun Great Realm. The ship traveled at full speed. Actually, 1 month was somewhat rushed. 4 days later, the ship flew past the Profound Light Great Realm. After another 4 or 5 Great Realms, it would reach the Purple Sun Great Realm. Xiaochen, who was doing his best to refine the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy, was startled awake by Fei who knocked on the door. Big brother Xiaochen, there is a ship following us from a distance. An astral pirate ship? When traveling in the starry heavens, the thing one worried about the most was running into pirate ships. Such a ship following them from a distance was very likely a pirate ship. I'll go and take a look. Xiaochen followed Fei out to the top of the ship. He had already torn down the Tianysek's banner by the side. From a distance, there was indeed the silhouette of a ship. However, it was at the limits of Xiaochen's vision, so he could not see it clearly. Heavenly Eye. A divine eye quickly flew out from Xiaochen's forehead. After a while, everything on that ship appeared in his eyes. Black Scimitar. It was indeed a pirate ship. When Xiaochen clearly saw the banner on the ship, he muttered to himself in surprise. Wasn't the Black Scimitar pirate group already destroyed? Chapter 1580. Big Brother Xiaochen, what should we do? This ship has been following us for at least 8 to 10 hours without changing direction. Fei said somewhat worriedly. I saw that Big Brother Xiaochen had been meditating, so I did not disturb you. Xiaochen smiled and consoled. It's fine. There's no need to worry. Just go and take care of Brother Luonan. I'll deal with this. Fei nodded obediently and silently withdrew. After Fei withdrew, the shrunken Jiao snake slithered to Xiaochen's shoulder and said softly, There's no need to be nervous. This is just a mediocre pirate group. The strongest is just an early-stage minor primal core cultivator. After all, the Jiao snake was one of the top 10 pirate groups near the Profound Light Great Realm. However, in the eyes of the Jiao snake, it was not a mediocre pirate group. Xiaochen smiled faintly and said, I know. This Tianysek's fortress ship is a little slow, and my cycle throne is not completed yet. Coincidentally, I can borrow this pirate ship to travel, saving me some time. I was thinking the same thing. There are strict standards for the construction of pirate ships. The Pirate Alliance has refining rooms, formation masters, and other strange people who study all sorts of pirate ships and provide them to the various pirate groups. When Xiaochen heard that, he asked somewhat interestedly, Pirate Alliance? Yes. This Purple Sun region is rather remote. Most of the great realms it governs do not have any major factions stationed there. Only Purple Sun City is slightly more bustling. When you go there, you can see their branch. Interesting. Even the pirate groups have an open and above-board alliance. This Great Thousand Realms is much more interesting than you imagine. You just entered and have not even seen the tip of the iceberg yet. When you reach Purple Sun City, you will be able to broaden your horizons. They're coming." As the two spoke, the Black Scimitar pirate ship caught up at an extremely fast speed. They are rather tactful, taking the initiative to stop when they see the Black Scimitar. The merchant ship in front. "Hand over 10,000 spirit jades, and this great lord will let you off." When the black-clad man on the pirate ship saw the fortress ship stop, he thought that the ship feared the Black Scimitar. He rejoiced in his heart, and did not demand an exorbitant price. When Xiaochen heard this, he revealed a faint smile. It was still an old acquaintance. He had not expected that Xiaochen would make a comeback and obtain another big ship. 100,000 spiritual jades? It's not a lot. Come and get it. The burly man in black frowned slightly. Why did this voice sound so familiar? "Captain, this person is really tactful. I'll go and retrieve the spirit jades," the pirate at the side said with a smile. "What are you laughing at? Give me the boat and drive closer." The black-robed man was a bit annoyed. He ruthlessly knocked on this fellow's head, got up, and walked to the bow of the ship. When the ship came closer, they saw Xiaochen, dressed in white, at the top of the ship. The eyes of the burly man in black immediately popped out. "Motherfucker. So it's you, you little bastard. There's a path to heaven, but you don't want to take it. There's no door to hell, but you barge into it yourself. Charge over and kill everyone on the ship. Don't touch the one in white, leave him for me." His memory of Xiaochen was still fresh in his mind. His pirate ship had been dismantled while he was still alive. This made the burly man the laughingstock of the surrounding pirate groups. This was a great humiliation that he would never forget. "There's no need. I'll come over myself," Xiaochen said indifferently. Then he leaped into the air and flew towards the deck of the pirate ship. "Don't stop him. Let him come over." The black-robed man revealed a sinister smile as he placed his right hand on the saber on his back. "Come on. This old man will hack you to death with one saber strike." The black-robed man mocked in his heart. An insignificant in-essence stage cultivator dares to steal a ship single-handedly? I will definitely teach him a lesson today. Whoosh! The murderous intent in the black-robed man's eyes suddenly condensed. Before Xiaochen landed, he suddenly drew his saber and hacked. Prediction. Given Xiaochen's current speed, he would be struck by this saber light the instant he landed. The black saber light was like a terrifying gale, incredibly tyrannical. This was the black-robed man's signature move, Black Wind Flash. However, who could have imagined that when Xiaochen landed, he would suddenly accelerate? Xiaochen's body tilted slightly, looking like a streamlined ink flame tiger. Flames burned on his body. Xiaochen's speed suddenly tripled. The black-robed man's berserk saber strike instantly broke the afterimage that Xiaochen left behind. The remnant saber light shot out, eliciting miserable cries from the surrounding pirates. Xiaochen turned around and drew his saber. In the time it took for a spark to fly, he also made a prediction. Whoosh! When the black-robed man's saber strike missed, he quickly changed his move and turned around to face Xiaochen. A ghostly saber light suddenly appeared and sliced towards the black-robed man's neck. This startled the black-robed man into retreating frantically. His feet knocked over the railing, and he stumbled, nearly falling over. Xiaochen sheathed his saber and hugged the lunar shadow saber. Then he looked at the black-robed man and said, "There is no need to kneel. I cannot accept such a big bow. I'll kneel to your mother." Xiaochen's mockery was like adding oil to the fire. The black-robed man stood firmly and leaped up, hacking down at Xiaochen's head. The black-robed man only had one thought in his mind: to kill Xiaochen to vent the hatred in his heart. However, when the saber light arrived, Xiaochen did not move at all. Instead, he looked at the black-robed man with a trace of mockery. A trick? After all, this brat before the black-robed man had managed to turn the situation around by sending out many demon tone bats for no reason. It was another ruthless person who had dismantled his pirate ship with his bare hands. He had to be careful. The black-robed man felt uncertain. He felt conflicted, and many openings appeared in his perfect saber technique. When Xiaochen saw the situation, he smiled faintly and did not draw his saber. Xiaochen struck the openings in his opponent's saber technique, before launching a strong counterattack. He brandished his scabbard and flustered the black-robed man. The black-robed man moved back continuously. He could not bring out the advantage of his cultivation at all. Damn you! How dare you toy with me? After being toyed with by Xiao Chun, the black-robed man was enraged. He wished that he could immediately kill Xiao Chun. The black-robed man could no longer care about anything else. His aura suddenly surged. The aura of a primal core expert was completely unleashed, making the hearts of the surrounding pirates tremble and forcing them to retreat. The pressure on Xiao Chun increased significantly. He knew that the black-robed man was truly enraged and wanted to fight it out with him. Xiao Chun could not help entering deep thought. This black-robed man's strength is passable. However, his mental state is extremely weak. Xiao Chun shook his head and said softly to the Jiao snake. Seeing that Xiao Chun still did not move this time, the black-robed man roared. Damn you! You want to toy with me again? If this old man does not chop you to death this time, I will change my surname to yours. Bang! 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 The black-robed man ran over quickly. With every step, the pirate ship shook intensely. The hull of the ship rocked as if it was being tossed by monstrous waves in the sea. All the pirates on the ship could not stand still. Their bodies swayed left and right as they did their best to grab onto something. It looks like you are destined to change your surname to mine. Boom! The unremarkable little black snake on Xiao Chun's shoulder suddenly swelled up. The Jiao snake stood upright beside Xiao Chun. The aura of a late-stage major primal core expert spread out from the Jiao snake's body. A pair of scarlet eyes looked down coldly at the black-robed man from above. Pussier! The black-robed man's aura instantly crumbled. A strong sense of helplessness spread throughout his entire body. Before the Jiao snake's cold gaze, the black-robed man trembled and took the initiative to scatter this move. His body trembled in fear. Then he directly fell to the ground and retreated continuously. A late-stage major primal core ferocious beast. The black-robed man revealed an expression of extreme horror. The berserk rage of the black-robed man seemed to be extinguished by a pool of ice water, replaced by boundless fear. This lowly one had eyes but failed to recognize Mount Tai. To senior, no; to young hero, no; to big brother, I apologize. The black-robed man put down his saber and knelt on the ground, apologizing to Xiao Chun. There was an uncrossable chasm between a minor primal core cultivator and a major primal core cultivator. Furthermore, the black-robed man was only an early-stage minor primal core cultivator. The Jiao snake, whose cultivation was infinitely close to the Cloud Sea realm, was like a god before the black-robed man, unable to exist at all. The Jiao snake could kill the black-robed man without any suspense, easily crushing him. Even if he did not want to, he had to kneel. Xiao Chun said indifferently, "Get up. I already said that I cannot accept your kneeling." "I can accept it, I can accept it. When Big Brother speaks, this lowly one will just kneel and listen." The black-robed man endured the humiliation as he spoke in a submissive voice. This person was someone who knew when to submit and when to stand tall. Since he wanted to kneel, so be it. "What is your name?" "This lowly one is Wuxia." "Good. Wuxia, I'll tell you. This ship is mine now. You and your subordinates have to listen to me. Immediately change course and go to the Xiang Great Realm." Damn it. Wuxia could not help cursing. Previously, Xiao Chun tore apart his ship. This time, he was even more ruthless, directly confiscating it. Xiao Chun looked at the other party, not saying anything. Big Brother is right. This little brother will change the contract and transfer this ship. The black-robed man, Wuxia, felt his heart bleeding. However, he had no choice but to submit. Why am I so unlucky? I ran into this jinx twice, each time worse than the last. Chapter 1581. Pirate ships have contracts? Xiao Chun felt suspicious. When he saw the contract, he confirmed that it was true. Every pirate ship was custom-made by the Pirate Alliance and had a special serial number. The Pirate Alliance had a record of the purchase. If one wanted to transfer it legally, the contractor had to take the initiative to do so. Xiao Chun held up the contract and looked through it. When he saw the last line, he read it out softly. All those who officially own a pirate ship will automatically become an honorable member of my pirate alliance. This cannot be reversed or withdrawn. Our journey is far from just the starry sea. This last line was written in an extremely unremarkable font. If one did not pay attention, one would not notice it. Wuxia, what's up with this last line? The black-clad man smiled and said, Big brother, call me Wuxia. I already said that I will take your surname. This last line. Only the Pirate Alliance controls the manufacturing of pirate ships. This is the symbol of pirates. Actually, there is no need for proof. With one look, others will recognize you as an astral pirate. Xiaochen gave the black-clad man a suspicious look. Then he turned his head to ask the Jiao snake. The Jiao snake said sullenly, he is right. However, you are currently poor. It is fine for you to join this pirate alliance. It will not prevent you from joining other sects in the future. Being a pirate is a free profession in the first place. A thought occurred to Xiaochen. I will be protected by the pirate alliance. You are overthinking this. Look at that man. He is so cowardly. If he really has the pirate alliance's protection, how could he be so cowardly? However, there are still some other benefits. For example, some profound tools, secret manuals, and natural treasures of unknown origins can be sold quickly in the black market that the Pirate Alliance controls. The black market that they control is also one of the largest in the entire Great Thousand Realms. Given this, there was nothing wrong with joining this Pirate Alliance. Right now, he did not have any status. It would be fine to use the identity of a pirate to cover it up. Big brother, the moment I saw you, I knew you had the potential to be a pirate. You will definitely have a great future if you join the Pirate Alliance. I already took the initiative to remove my name from this contract. Big brother, just leave your name. The black-clad man praised sincerely when he thought about how Xiaochen dismantled the ship with his bare hands. After thinking for a while, Xiaochen finally made his choice. He needed to rush to Purple Sun City as soon as possible. At the same time, he also needed an identity to deceive others. The moment Xiaochen signed the contract, in the boundless starry sky, separated by thousands of great worlds, the primordial world, the most mysterious son of an era, you have finally appeared. A mysterious voice echoed in the gloomy black godly mountain. Countless black lotus flowers bloomed in the sky. Amidst the solemn and dignified atmosphere, there was a sinister aura. Each lotus had a vertical eye on it, emitting layers of Buddhist light. Immediately after, a gigantic Buddha statue appeared behind the owner of the voice. However, this Buddha statue was completely black. Amidst the solemn appearance, the eyes that looked at the people of the world were cold, without any warmth. A ball of black light burst forth from the ancestral Buddha statue and radiated outwards. The might of the Buddha filled the air, reaching its limit and burning into black flames. All the vertical eyes gathered together, forming a huge divine eye. Its gaze enveloped the mountain range within a radius of 10,000 miles. Then it spread out towards the boundless starry sky. At that moment, everything in the great world where the Black Mountain Range was fell silent, as if plunged into eternal darkness. At the same time, a small number of cloud sea powerhouses in the starry domains near the Purple Sun region vaguely caught some traces in the air. Inside the Black Mountain Range, an ancient Buddhist temple stood on every mountain range. Believers prostrated themselves on the ground along the mountain paths. Before this mysterious phenomenon, they prayed piously, not daring to show any disrespect. The sect venerate commands to summon the 4 protectors and 72 arhats. Within the dark and cold mountain range, a Buddhist voice resounded between the heavens and the earth. That voice reached the depths of every believer's soul, making them tremble. Right after the sect venerate spoke, the black flames burning in the sky suddenly extinguished, looking like resplendent fireworks that vanished in an instant. The boundless Buddhist might vanished. Black Lotus Secret Seal, Thousand Eyes Divine Eye. Master was injured by the Thunder Sound Temple's abbot 1,000 years ago, and has been recuperating. Why did he spend so much effort to execute this supreme mystic ability this time? On a lone peak in the Black Mountain Range, stood a handsome monk with a peaceful expression on his face. This monk wore white monk robes and held Buddhist prayer beads in his hand as he muttered to himself. Whoosh! No one knew how this white-clad monk stood up. Suddenly, this white-clad monk appeared in a cultured and elegant manner on the main peak of the Black Mountain Range. His aura was peaceful and serene, cultured and elegant, simple and serene. This was a stark contrast to this mountain range shrouded in darkness all year round. Holding the Buddhist prayer beads in his right hand, the white-clad monk walked in step by step. At the end of the mountain path was an ancient Buddhist temple. Black statues lined both sides of the road in front of the temple as the white-clad monk walked over. 72 arhats wearing black kasayas stood on both sides of the temple with cold expressions. The white-clad monk knew that these 72 black-clad arhats were all major primal core realm cultivators. Furthermore, they were the cream of the crop among major primal core realm cultivators. Regular major primal core realm cultivators were not strong enough before them. Aside from these, there were 4 protectors in gorgeous clothes holding Buddhist staffs. These 4 protectors were even stronger, having already broken through the primal core realm to the cloud sea realm. They were super experts who could cultivate soul energy. Even in the core of the Great Thousand Realms, they could be considered experts. In the Grave Sea Cluster, where the Purple Sun region was, they could be considered peak experts. Wherever they went, they would be overlord-level existences. Holy Sun Ming Xian. Upon seeing this white-clad monk, the 4 protectors bowed slightly and greeted him respectfully. After the 4 protectors bowed, the 72 arhats bowed in unison. Come in then. The doors to the temple opened with a buzz. A Buddha statue stood on the countless steps in front of the temple. A weak-looking old man sat on a black lotus platform below the Buddha statue with his eyes closed. This old man was the Black Lotus Church's church master. He was the mastermind behind the Kunlun realm's demonic calamity, someone that Xiaochun had to kill. Greetings, master. Greetings, Black Lotus Church's church ancestor. In the dark hall, everyone respectfully bowed to the Black Lotus Church's church master. The lotus platform slowly rose, and the Black Lotus Church's church master looked at everyone below. Buddhist light flickered in his eyes. It was as if he could destroy everyone present with just a glance. Sect ancestor, you spent so much effort to cast the Black Lotus mystic seal. Did you gather all of us here to discuss something important? Are we going to destroy a rank 3 sect and recruit more believers? With all the experts present together, they could easily annihilate a huge 3rd-grade sect. I want you to personally find a person and bring him back to me. The Black Lotus Church's church master said slowly, his voice deep and hoarse. Everyone revealed flabbergasted expressions. They were slightly surprised, and their expressions were strange. For the sake of finding one person, they gathered nearly all the peak experts of the Black Lotus Church. Where did this person come from? The person I'm looking for is the reincarnation of the strongest expert of the immortal epoch. He possesses limitless potential. I need this person very much. The Black Lotus Church also needs this person. You have to find him for me. Do not be careless. The Black Lotus Church's church master's gaze sank, making everyone's hearts tremble as they felt an incomparably terrifying pressure. Did you hear me? Yes, we did. Sensing the gravity of the Black Lotus Church's church master's words, no one dared to show any dissatisfied expression. Where is this person? The Black Lotus Church's church master remained silent for a long time before replying. He is in the Grave Sea Cluster. The 4 protectors, the group of arhats, and the Holy Sun Ming Xian were all stupefied. The Grave Sea Cluster was astonishingly vast. The entire Grave Sea Cluster had hundreds of starfields similar to the Purple Sun region. If one searched every starfield, one would not be able to find it all even after several decades. Search the starfields near the Purple Sun region. I planted the Black Lotus mark on this person. As long as you get within a certain range of him, you will be able to sense it. The Black Lotus Church's church master felt somewhat tired. Even after executing the magic skill of the Thousand Eyes magic skill, he could not pinpoint Xiaochun, only a rough area. The Black Lotus Church's church master thought that Xiaochun definitely had a treasure that could cover up the Black Lotus mark. Left with no choice, the Black Lotus Church's church master could only get the 4 protectors, the 72 arhats, and his proud disciples to go out and search. After the Black Lotus Church's church master carefully explained, these arhats and protectors understood. This way, they could determine the general direction. Furthermore, this person had the Black Lotus mark on him, which greatly reduced the difficulty. That will be all then. Make your preparations, and depart the day after tomorrow. Holy Sun Mingxian, you can stay behind. The others can leave. After everyone left, the Black Lotus Church's church master looked at the Holy Sun Mingxian and said seriously, "You must find it strange why I went to such great lengths to find such a person, right?" Mingxian nodded and said, "Disciple does not understand. However, Master's decision definitely has its reasons." The Black Lotus Church's church master looked at Mingxian, his eyes filled with anticipation. "I'll tell you this. He has the demonic bone relic of my Black Lotus Church's founding ancestor. In his previous life, he used this demonic bone relic to successfully reincarnate. Do you understand now?" The Holy Sun Mingxian's expression changed drastically. Clearly, these words shocked him. Disciple understands. Disciple will definitely bring this person to Master. Chapter 1582. The speed of the pirate ship had indeed increased significantly. Most importantly, there were sufficient crew members to operate the ship. This allowed the energy released by the formation to be fully utilized. In addition, the black-robed man was an experienced captain, so he was naturally much faster than the original ship. Xiao Chen's life didn't change much. With the help of the mysterious Yin grass, he quickly refined the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. Now his strength was improving every day. The effect of the mysterious Yin grass was amazing. At the very least, it sped up Xiao Chen's refinement of the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy by more than 3 times. Now he might not even need a month. As a result, Xiao Chen had no choice but to start thinking about the Yang baleful qi in advance. After refining 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy, one had to absorb 10,000-year-old baleful Yang energy as well. However, a fortuitous encounter like the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy was hard to come by in 1,000 years. It required too many coincidences. For this reason, Xiao Chen had no choice but to discuss it with the Jiao snake. After learning about Xiao Chen's purpose for coming, the Jiao snake said, 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. You had better not think about that. Being able to absorb 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy is already a great fortuitous encounter. Everything in the world was predetermined, and everything had its own conclusions. It's impossible for you to encounter another 10,000-year-old baleful Yang. Xiao Chen nodded. I feel that it is impossible too. Being able to obtain the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy is luck and Senior Jiao Snake's help. It was a coincidence that I encountered the 10,000-year baleful Yin energy. It was even more of a coincidence that I met you. The Jiao Snake paused for a moment before saying, however, the cultivation of cultivators cannot always rely on coincidences. You were right to make plans for this matter. Xiao Chen looked at the Jiao Snake and said, given Senior Jiao Snake's experience, do you have any suggestions? The best way is naturally to join a sect. The outstanding talents of those sects will not worry about the baleful Yin and baleful Yang. The sect's old monsters will be running around looking for them. You can't compete in this, so you can only rely on external help. Senior, please elaborate. The Jiao Snake sighed and said in a deep voice, if it were an ordinary person, this matter would be very easy to resolve. However, the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy you absorbed must have a corresponding grade of baleful Yang energy. Lowering the standard is a little troublesome. However, I remember that Pan Huang obtained an alchemic recipe in the past. It recorded a method that could condense baleful Yang energy. Then, with the corresponding spirit herbs, one could refine the heavenly Yang pill. Sky Yang pill. Xiao Chen was confused. What did this pill have to do with the baleful Yang energy that he wanted to absorb? The Jiao Snake explained. This heavenly Yang pill can condense 100 strands of baleful Yin Yang. Think about it. If 100,000-year-old strands of baleful Yin Yang condense all their essence, Would it be any weaker than 10,000-year-old baleful yin yang? Xiao Chen thought about it carefully and was shocked. Is there really such a pill? If that's true, then wouldn't the disciples of large sects be able to absorb 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy and 10,000-year-old baleful yang energy at the perfected being realm? How strong would the sects be when they grow up? Xiao Chen had personally experienced the immense energy contained in 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy. If everyone in a sect could build such a strong foundation at the perfected being realm, it would be unimaginably terrifying. The Jiao snake shook its head and said, "You are overthinking. Firstly, 1,000-year-old baleful yin energy and baleful yang energy are already very difficult to find. It is impossible for a sect to prepare one for every disciple. Secondly, not everyone can absorb 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy. After all, some cultivators cannot even refine 2,000-year-old baleful yin energy." Xiao Chen felt enlightened. That seems to make sense. There is still the most important point. What? Senior, you don't remember the alchemic recipe? I remember the alchemic recipe. A snake's memory is the best. You cannot compare to me in this aspect. Most importantly, the alchemist who created this alchemic recipe did not create the heavenly yin pill. Hence, many disciples who absorbed the heavenly yang pill exploded and died when they advanced to the primal core realm. Seeing Xiao Chen's expression change slightly, the Jiao snake continued. After that, this alchemic recipe became a forbidden medicine and was sealed away. Now it should be completely lost. Xiao Chen entered deep thought. Senior, please give me the alchemic recipe first. I'll make a decision after that. All right. Think about it carefully. This is the final step. If you really cannot do it, you can only force a portion of the 10,000-year-old baleful yin energy out of your body. At that time you will have a better choice. After obtaining the alchemic recipe, Xiao Chen walked out with a somewhat sullen expression. Captain, we are almost at the Purple Sun Great Realm. The moment Xiao Chen left the ship's hold, he ran into an excited black-clad man on the deck. Oh, I'll go and take a look. When Xiao Chen arrived at the bow of the ship, he looked out into the starry heavens ahead. There was a purple star that stood out from the other stars, giving off a strange light. With one glance, one could tell the difference in the vast starry heavens. That was the Purple Sun Great Realm. The current Great Realms were formed from the fragments of the Great Desolate Continent. Compared to stars, there was a unique field that existed in the Great Desolate Aeon, suitable for the reproduction of life and the birth of civilization. No matter how big a star was, without a field, there could not be a civilization. Only terrifying astral beasts could survive on it. Captain, we are about to pass through the field. The field of this Purple Sun Great Realm is rather strong. However, it is clearly not a problem for Captain. There was no need for the black-clad man to say anything. Xiao Chen could already feel it. As Xiao Chen's physical body passed through the field, the scene before him magnified continuously. It was like a sesame-sized painting magnified 1,000 times before his eyes. This was the first time Xiao Chen passed through such a field. It felt rather novel. At the same time, he also felt that the field that the black-clad man mentioned was rather strong. Without a certain level of strength, one would not be able to pass through it. After Xiao Chen passed through the field, the scene before him suddenly opened up. The air was fresh, much better than in the starry heavens. When Xiao Chen looked around, this Purple Sun Great Realm was a boundless continent. Most of the place was desolate and uninhabited. Only a city stood in the center of the continent. That should be Purple Sun City. Even from several million kilometers away, one could still clearly see the city's silhouette. One could easily imagine how grand and majestic the city was. Above his head was a patch of purple sky that seemed to never disperse, as if it would forever be squeezed together. Captain, let's go to the Pirate Alliance first. After traveling in the starry heavens for so long, this pirate ship needs to be tidied up, the black-clad man suggested excitedly to Xiao Chen. Get your subordinates to leave. Accompany me to another place. Oh. When the black-clad man heard that, he immediately became somewhat dispirited. What happened next made the black-clad man even more depressed. Xiao Chen got off the ship and summoned a black chariot. To think that Xiao Chen wanted the black-clad man to be the coachman. Big brother, look. I am a minor primal core realm expert after all. Isn't it a little too? The black-clad man looked bleak as he looked at Xiaochen, not willing to do this. Xiaochen thought for a while, and felt that this was fine. He took the reins and said, I'll do it then. You are responsible for showing me the way, and helping me find a larger tavern. Alright, that's a good idea. Xiao Suo laughed loudly. However, he immediately felt a chill run through his body, scaring him into trembling. He quickly said, Let me do it. How can I let Big Brother do such menial work for me? That Jiao Snake is still around. Senior Jiao Snake, there is no need to scare him like that. Xiaochen smiled bitterly. Naturally, he knew that it was the Jiao Snake's doing. It's fine. I can tell that this person is a talent. I'll help you tame him during this period, so that you can use him in the future. That's right. With a helper, it would be much easier to handle many miscellaneous matters. With this thought, Xiaochen ignored the Jiao Snake's actions, and entered the cycle war chariot. Fei was doing her best to take care of Luonan. However, Luonan's complexion clearly weakened. That was the effect of the blood cloud pill. As time went by, its effects weakened. Seeing Xiaochen enter, Fei immediately said, Big Brother Xiaochen, you are here. Xiaochen nodded casually. Then he looked at Luonan and asked, How is he? The worry on Fei's face did not fade away. She said softly, Senior Brother's mental state has been deteriorating over the past few days. He seems a little afraid. Luonan revealed a smile as he held Fei's hand. Then he consoled, Junior sister, I am already very satisfied with being able to live until now. These days have been the happiest days of my life. Then Luonan turned his head and looked at Xiaochen. Brother Xiaochen, I'm sorry. I really misunderstood you in the past. I am already very grateful to you for doing so much for me. I feel that I do not have much time left. Brother Xiaochen, please don't waste any more resources and time on me. Xiaochen smiled and said, Don't overthink. Just because Fei calls me Big Brother, I should help you to the end. Furthermore, without you protecting me, I would not have been able to absorb the 10,000-year-old baleful Yin energy. Since you are already in Purple Sun City, don't overthink and rest well. Chapter 1583. Purple Sun City was the only large city in the Purple Sun Great Realm. It had millions of years of history, an extremely long history. The vast and majestic ancient city had experienced the baptism of countless years, but it still retained its ancient charm, extolling the ancient legends. On top of the city gate, there was an incomparably beautiful beast carved on top of the purple clouds. That was the legendary divine beast Golden Crow that was born from flames. When its wings unfolded, every single feather was glistening with a brilliant golden radiance. It was filled with an ancient aura. Long ago, it was said that this Purple Sun Great Realm was a stronghold of the Golden Crow race. Purple Sun City was built on the Golden Crow race remnant. Although the pure-blooded Golden Crows were extinct, and the descendants of the Golden Crows were long gone. However, the native cultivators still worshipped the divine bird that was born in the flames. This was evident from the various symbols on Purple Sun City. Purple Sun City sat in the center of this continent, surrounded by boundless deserts with surging yellow sand. However, none of this affected the prosperity of the city in the slightest. This was because it was the center of the entire Purple Sun region. Countless people from the thousands of great realms of the Purple Sun region would come here every day. Most of the businesses in the city were trading. There were very few native cultivators in the Purple Sun Great Realm. Rumor had it that a rank 3 sect had existed here a long time ago, but later on for some reason it declined. It was attacked by everyone and destroyed in the tides of history. This made Purple Sun City a neutral city. Right now, only a few strong rank 2 sects had taken root in the vicinity of Purple Sun City, forming an equal footing. Most of the cultivators who came here were looking for something they fancied, or to sell their treasures. This city was also the largest city in the entire Purple Sun region. The martial artists who came here were at least at the perfected being realm. From time to time, one could see primordial core realm supremacies. The city's environment was complicated, and there were people from all walks of life. Sometimes, a random person might be a peak major primal core expert. It would not be strange at all. At this moment, amidst the rolling yellow sands, a black horse carriage was galloping on the main road, leaving behind a trail of dust. Inside the carriage was naturally Xiaochen, and the other two. Warships like pirate ships had special docking points in Purple Sun City. They had already parted ways with Xiaochen's group. There are so many experts. Xiaochen had already walked out and sat beside Xiao Suo, observing the surroundings. Earlier, the two mutated beasts that brushed past Xiaochen were both minor primal core cultivators. In the other great realms, it was not easy to see a primal core cultivator. Becoming a perfected master was already an expert. After advancing to the primal core realm, one would be a venerate, respected wherever they went. However, the rules in Purple Sun City were clearly going to change. Just as the cycle war chariot was about to enter the city gates, two figures descended from the sky and blocked the chariot. Xiao Suo pulled the reins fiercely, his face filled with anger. Sizing up the two people in front of him, they were two middle-aged men. One of them had a thick killing intent on his face, while the other had an evil smile on his face. Clearly he was up to no good. Big brother, the vicinity of Purple Sun City has always been very chaotic. There are often blind people looking for pushovers to collect tolls. Xiaochen found this strange. These two people are only half-step primal core cultivators, yet they dare to target you? How would I know? There are always people who do not care about their lives in this day and age. The black-clad man, Xiao Suo, expressed his confusion. Xiaochen sized up the black-clad man and somewhat understood. Xiao Suo was covered in dust along the way, and he withdrew his aura. It looked like he had completely integrated into the role of a coachman. The former pirate leader had turned into a coachman, and was directly ignored by others. Furthermore, Xiaochen's cycle war chariot did not have any insignia, even looking somewhat crude. Hence, he was treated as a pushover. In reality, that was indeed the case. The taller and skinnier of the two men blocking the chariot looked at Xiaochen and said, "How many people are in the chariot? Everyone has to hand over 100 spirit jades. Otherwise, you can forget about entering Purple Sun City alive." Xiaochen smiled and said, "This Purple Sun City is an ownerless city, a neutral land where people can come and go as they please. Since when do we need to pay spirit jades? Why all the nonsense? Are you going to hand it over or not? Just say the word." The person who spoke looked at Xiaochen with displeasure on his face, showing no patience at all. "Not handing it over," Xiaochen replied decisively. "Are you sure?" The taller, skinnier man smiled coldly. Purple Sun City was a chaotic place with many experts. However, not all of them were experts. Every day, there would be veritable personages like Xiaochen passing through the field and entering the Purple Sun Great Realm, the targets of their plunder. Those who could come to Purple Sun City were either here to buy treasures or to sell them. These people all had some wealth. If this was not good, they would just kill them and snatch them. You'd best consider it. 100 spirit jades for a life. This is an easy debt to settle. The azure-clad man surging with killing chi at the side said coldly, "Consider it my ass. To think that you are trying to rob me, your grandfather. Kneel." During this period, Xiao Suo had been suppressing a bellyful of anger. Now that he was forced to be a coachman, he felt extremely upset. Now that someone blocked his way and tried to rob him, he completely erupted. Xiao Suo grasped the horsewhip and suddenly stood up. The aura of a primal core realm expert burst out. The two middle-aged men who tried to rob him were instantly frightened to death. They had not expected this unremarkable coachman, who was covered in dust, to be a minor primal core realm expert. Trying to run? It's too late. Xiao Suo smiled coldly and swung his whip. The two half-step primal core realm cultivators got chopped in half at the waist. They were not even on the same level. Xiao Suo leaped off the chariot and searched the corpses. Then he removed the spatial rings of the two before walking back happily. "It's an old habit. I can't change it. Big brother, sorry for the embarrassment. Let's go." After killing the two, Xiao Suo was in a good mood. He drove the cycle war chariot straight into Purple Sun City. Only then did the onlookers startle to their senses, exclaiming softly, "What a mysterious chariot! There is no sex symbol on it, but the coachman is actually a primal core venerate. What is the background of that white-clad youth? This is really grand. Even a rank 2 sect disciple would not receive such treatment." That is right. Even in a rank 2 sect, a primal core realm expert is a martial uncle. How could he be a coachman for a disciple? That might not be the case. If it were the top disciple of a rank 2 sect, he would definitely receive such treatment. Could this white-clad person be the top disciple of a sect? However, he does not look like it. Although the black-clothed man had killed 2 people with 1 whip strike, everyone's focus was on Xiao Chun. Clearly, a coachman was already so strong. The identity of the white-clad person had to be even more incredible. Could that white-clad person be the Ice Snow Sword? A few figures below the city gates, 2 men and 1 woman, watched as the cycle war chariot entered the city gates. The one who spoke was the woman among them. The 3 of them had arrived long ago. However, they happened to see the earlier scene, so they stopped to watch the commotion. Who could have imagined that they would see such a shocking scene? That should not be the case. Although the Ice Snow Sword is also dressed in white, he has always been a loner. He is very proud and arrogant. He does not even think highly of his fellow sect members of the Ice Snow Mountain Manor. The Purple Cloud Pavilion's annual auction is about to begin. The elite disciples of the rank 2 sects near Purple Sun City will definitely come to join in the excitement. This person might be a descendant of one of the elders of one of the sections. Unable to figure out Xiao Chen's identity, the 3 pause for a while before following the crowd into Purple Sun City. You're tuning in to the Li Mei's Wuxia Whispers YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.